Hey, welcome back to Finding Truth podcast on Unscripted Truth TV on YouTube. Logan here with Austin. And we got a jam packed episode. Really looking forward to it. Our special guest, King Richard, will be on in a little while. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But really looking forward to that. He's had a lot. He's been busy. He's been putting out a lot of great work. In fact, let me get his banner up. He's been putting out a lot of great work and lot to cover, and it'll be a joy to hear him out and look at his most recent decodes. And I'm sure we'll end up riffing on some other stuff, but that should be fun. Looking forward to that. And of course, we got the last race before the championship to cover. Narrative busting race for us. But I mean, if you followed us, then if you guys kept close eye on these races, then I'm not even sweating it, dude. I think we called this season about as good as you can call it. I mean, granted, we made these predictions like 3 weeks in, or maybe 4 weeks in, that we were no, it was about 3 weeks in where we cemented our predictions for Ford, and for it to go out like this in the way they did it, we're gonna drop the ball on you guys here when we get started, because there was a big something that we missed last week, and it just came and bit us in the ass. This has happened twice this season now, where we missed a key detail that would have led to an automatic knowledge of who was going to win. And we've given this information to you guys. We've told you to look out for these things, and so we'll live a little on a little cliffhanger there until we get into it. But how you doing, Austin?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, I guess. It's been kind of one of those weeks. Yeah, it's kind of just yeah, I did some running on like Monday, Tuesday. I was still working on my shoulder and stuff. Went to the trampoline park Friday. It was kind of like the turning point around that time with the weather and stuff. Big storm came through this week, just Friday, and it was raining really heavy and it was really windy. Big storm, and it was crazy. Yesterday continued through yesterday, and there was a big storm up where I was, and then apparently there's people outside like doing a food truck thing or something, and they were out in it, and apparently it blew a tree down and fell on someone, and they killed somebody and injured other people. So it's kind of been one of those weeks. It's kind of just feeling the depression of everything, and yeah, it's just um, other than that, it's just kind of been we're looking forward to obviously this weekend because it's something we've been working on the narrative all year for trying to call this stuff. And um yeah, really other than that, um yeah, it's our last show before next week. It'll be the season championship, and then it'll be darker a lot sooner too. We go into the uh dark time of year, and then we get where the clocks get set back next week too. So it'll be, the real start of the depression there in November. But yeah, it's kind of been one of those weeks. There's something that I felt like this was like something all week where I was just kind of feeling something, but I wasn't sure what it was. It's kind of like starting to hit me like Wednesday, Thursday, like something was up, and I couldn't really get my finger on the pulse of what it was. Just felt like I was missing something this week, or there was something up. And then it really, I feel like it really hit me really today when um, with this race and stuff, and like the way this week just played out. I mean, it was just, it was a nice week, and the weather has kind of turned Friday. And I know there was I was sharing with you some other stuff too, like with the trucks and the Xfinity, all the funny stuff
Mm-hmm.
with Honey Man and Honey Touch and all these funny names and all these funny stories that we just can't stop laughing over. It just gets funnier and funnier. And it's just this week was just kind of building, and it was just a week where it was something we just didn't really see. It was something we should have saw from a long ways away, and somehow we completely uh just kind of whiffed on it. I don't really know how we missed it and how we whiffed on it. It was just kind of something that just was right in front of our face with this whole narrative. And it's interesting too, because this was something where um this whole year, the year that it's been, this is something we could have seen and should have seen probably from the very beginning, and could have called out if we would just known this very small detail and known the calendar date, and check the calendar and seen how these things aligned. And Just would have put 2 and 2 together or something all week. I don't know. This week just had a weird vibe to it. It felt good, and it felt, like I was doing pretty well, but then there's just something about it just kind of felt off to me. Something just didn't feel right, and I couldn't really, put a key onto what it was. The week that it was, this kind of, like I said, changing of the weather, the changing of the tide, all the signs were there, kind of the weirdness, but all in all, it wasn't really like a bad week or, anything like substantial. It was just kind of just that weird kind of week where, things kind of felt good or all right, but then there was like just something there. But yeah, I just one of those weeks where it's going to be hard to live this down that we didn't see it coming, that we just didn't
I mean,
catch
yeah.
this. Something that, just something so blatant, so obvious that it's just like, man, how do you drop the ball like that? How do you mess that up? But yeah, and it was, of course, it has to do with the race and everything, and how it all played out. And this was a race too where we were talking about the narratives going in for quite some time, and how big this race would be, and it was something where we were saying that the guy who does go on to win this race very well could go on to win next week, or at least win the championship. And of course, the big miss of the year was the fact that today was International Tennessee Day, and we all know that the William Byron that we found out the governor of Tennessee is also William Byron, and that they're connected at the hip, and then also with his other win in Iowa this season, where there was also that big connection too with the Bristol, Tennessee track, and how that was being used for MLB and stuff like that. And there was that connection. And then the Daytona 500, where the governor was the only one that didn't declare the emergency or whatever. So I mean, this was an ongoing narrative, and something that I don't really know if there's other people out there that know about this, because I just found out about this today, and I was trying to watch a stream just to keep up on the race. And then somebody in the chat, apparently I was working, so I wasn't really watching the chat, but somebody, I guess, said that it was International Tennessee Day, and that's what the guy said. And I overheard it, and I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. What? And I looked it up. I'm like, sure shit. And somehow we completely missed and whiffed on that. And of course, Byron was on the pole. He did win both stages. Did dominate the race, lead the most laps. And our other narrative, Ryan Blaney, was right there, towards the second half of the race, and it was really between Byron and Blaney. And obviously, 100% without a doubt, if today was not International Tennessee Day, and if there was not that William Byron connection, this was definitely going to be going to Ryan Blaney. This was definitely going to be going Ford for Pete. Blaney was going to get it. There's no doubt about it. But there was just that narrative, and I seen it in the race too, where they were running 1-2 and Blaney was leading. I'm just like, oh my God, this narrative, this International Tennessee Day thing is just too strong. And sure enough, I mean, it ended up going Byron's way, as he ends up punching his ticket to have a shot at the Final Four. And it's very interesting too, the way this all played out, because you look at who really is kind of really deserving. You got Christopher Bell that is going to end up winning the Winston Cup style points format championship on the year. He's going to end up winning that at Phoenix. So having the guy that's should have really won it, was the most consistent car all year, not even being in the Final Four, is sad and disappointing, because we kind of thought he'd be in there too, especially over Briscoe, I would have thought. But and then as well, you had Byron did win the regular season championship, so I mean, you got him in there. And it's interesting too, because there was just the NASCAR 25 that was just released, the video game, and William Byron has the highest rating. He's rated 99. He's the only 99 overall driver. He's the best rated in the game. So I'm wondering if that is foreshadowing something here, making him the best guy in the game, with all this on the line. Of course, so much with the Hendrick, and we did bring up the Hendrick and with Jeff Gordon winning the championship for the first time in 95, 30 years ago. And then of course, just 10 years ago, Jeff Gordon winning his last race, and the race where Kenseth ended up taking out Logano and stuff, and Gordon went on to win, having a shot at the championship for the final time, and how that all kind of came to be. So there was narrative base for this to happen. And then we just kind of missed, obviously, the biggest miss of them all. Just somehow we just didn't have the knowledge or the research, or just didn't get that clue somehow that it was International Tennessee Day. That never somehow registered. We never figured that out or found that out, or even bothered to look that it lined up too with the race as well. And like I said, with it's interesting now because you got Briscoe in there, who's never won it for Gibbs, so he's never been a part of it, never been a part of the Final Four. He's got a shot to win it. Hamlin has been said numerous times to win it, how many times, and has never been able to win it. And he's won the most races on the year. And then you got Larson in there, who hasn't won in a long time, since like May. And then you got William Byron in there. So you got Gibbs versus Hendrick. You got Toyota versus Chevy. A lot of narratives kind of on both sides as well. Like we were just saying, before this started, maybe Bell's going to go on to win the race next week, like he won it last time there. And then maybe Briscoe is going to end up getting second, because it was funny too. We talked about how connected those two are coming into this race. It was, and I think it might still be Christopher Bell with the lead over Briscoe in the Winston Cup style format points. If you go back to that, it might still be those two. Or I know Briscoe did finish dead last in this race. He wasn't doing well to begin with, but then he ended up blowing up. So it might still be 1 and 2 in those standings. I'd have to double check when that gets updated and see where they're at. But Briscoe had a shot to possibly win that, but now with the DNF finishing last, and he was behind Bell, so Bell's going to end up clinching that, locking that championship up, and then Briscoe at best could maybe still get second. So they still could be tied and connected in the Winston Cup format, depending how Briscoe does next week. Very interesting. And then, like I said, you have Byron, who won the regular season championship in it, and then Mr. Hamlin, Mr. Controversy all year and winning the most races, never won the championship, so he's in it. You got Briscoe's never been in it. Larson, who's Mr. 201. So you kind of see why these guys are in it. Like I said, the most consistent car all year, the guy who's really going to win the championship or should have won the championship, ain't even in the Final Four. So it's kind of, you can argue it however you want to argue it, but just just a big miss on our part. Just a big disappointment not seeing the big Tennessee Day today. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's very interesting. And like I said, with the William Byron and the NASCAR 25 thing, that could be part of it too. There's a narrative for kind of every driver here for these Final Four, so it really could go any way. And again, you got to remember too, you don't have to win the next race, so it doesn't have to be a narrative, for you to win. You just got to beat the other guys that are in it. So as long as you finish ahead of them, it's only happened one other time 2 years ago, and Blaney finished second to Chastain, who wasn't a part of it, where he ended up winning the championship. Every other time, the guy who won the race won the championship. So could go either way. We might get a Final Four that does win the race, or we could get someone else. But it should be very interesting how this plays out. Just knowing how how close we were, how accurate we really were too, and just watching the race play out right as we called it, right as we said it would be. Just for that one big miss from our part where we just didn't see something that was right there. But yeah, going to be very interesting next week to wrap up the season. I'm looking forward to it. Phoenix is always going to be, it's interesting finale. It's always kind of a nail biter. You never really know what's going to happen when you go there, because you got two different teams racing. So I'm sure there's going to be some controversy, something crazy is probably going to happen. But yeah, this was a pretty interesting season. Yeah, now we're finally putting the last pieces together that what looks like quite possibly makes the most sense at this junction.
Very well put. Very succinct overview of what happened here. And yeah, you make a good point. I mean, to call this not foreshadowing is ridiculous. I mean, you have Byron overtaking Bell and Blaney here, And it's just like there is subtle psychology to covering your eyes. It has to do with like some people will say deception or things of that nature, but you know that it's just there's plenty of images of him without glasses on, and you have two people covering their eyes. Well, he is just front and center. You know, I could break down this esoterically, but I think it's pretty plain to see that this was thought out ahead of time for sure. And then, yeah, like you said, man, it's just one of those things, and I'll just quickly go through because there might be some stragglers and people that be like, what are they talking about with this whole Bill Lee thing? What are they talking about with knowing ahead of time? What are you talking about? Well, as mentioned, today is National Tennessee Day, something we completely whiffed on until race had already started. But as he mentioned, I'll just start out with the big kicker that we found out after February 16th. The governor of Tennessee's name is Bill Lee. Yeah, you look up the governor of Tennessee, it'll never say his name's William. It'll never say Byron, anything like that. And we didn't know this until it's hilarious. You can go back and watch it. I might try to find the episode, but it'll have been February 16th episode. And so, Mr. Bill Lee here, keep in mind his name, obviously, William Byron Lee. We'll go back to February Daytona. Go back to not the inaugural race. You got February. You have 3 states declare or be hit by severe storms, and this is during it was still freezing as well, so it was super cold. You had. I don't want to muff this up. I want to say it was Virginia, Tennessee, and I think it was a Carolina again. I could be wrong. Anyway, we could go back and look it up. I at least have the February storm brought up. I should have looked it up which all states were involved because it does matter. Point being is there was 3 states involved that I think there was more states overall, but 3 states that were hit very badly. Tennessee was hit very badly. Severe weather outbreak with multiple tornadoes. This is from February 6th. And then there was another one around the 17th. So this was an ongoing thing. But point being is around race day, the race happened February 16th, but this had already been going on and their state was being hammered all that week. You had 2 states come out and issue states of emergency. Virginia issued a state of emergency, and the other state, whether it was a Carolina or whatever, but for whatever reason, Tennessee did not issue a state of emergency. And keep in mind, when we're doing this decode, I was doing this decode thinking, how does this weather modification, this storm, how does this affect the race? And so we were looking up the governors that declared states of emergency because to me that we were like, what's up with this guy? And trust me, there were some crazy numbers with those guys. And we've been exposing the governors and mayors and these rituals with weather. I still remember, I guess I don't remember very well, but the guy had like a dig relating name. Anyway, I think that was the storm that hit like Detroit or something like that. But anyway, so there was one governor that didn't declare a state of emergency, and that was Mr. Bill Lee. And at first, we didn't really pay him any mind because he didn't declare the state of emergency. So we looked him up last, and we were looking him up, and it's just like Bill Lee. It's just like, all right, nothing really makes any sense with this guy. And then, lo and behold, you finally go to his Wikipedia to find out his full name being William Byron Lee, and boom, light bulb. So this guy sacrificed his state and all those because like this storm was brutal. I'm talking about their whole like town, their whole city main thoroughway was flooded, and then you had people trapped in their cars, and it was like freezing overnight. It was a crazy story. Like flash freezing, that they had flash freezing, tornadoes, and flooding, and he didn't declare a state of emergency. So anyway, that kind of set us on the path of like, okay, there, obviously this was for William Byron. Obviously this has to do with the NASCAR win because he won. Here, let me pull this up for you guys, just in case you guys aren't right here. February 16th, Daytona. So this is right around the time of the storm. He wins Daytona. This is William Byron's 3 wins this year. Fast forward to, quite a ways, all the way to August 3rd. You have the Iowa race. And this is another one where we just didn't do our due diligence to always double check our boy William Byron Lee and what's going on with Tennessee. And we missed a huge one, a huge clue with the Bristol 2025 MLB Speedway Classic, where they host an MLB game in a NASCAR track. And down to the score, we covered it. The score was telling. It was what the Braves and the Reds or something like that. I want to say it's something like that. But I guess I could just look at it. Okay, I was right about the Braves. Oh, yeah, Braves and Reds. Funny enough, too, because like we said, Cincinnati would have posted their score as 2-4, which is 24 is William Byron's number.
Yep.
So that's one thing, but on his Twitter or his Instagram or whatever he has, he hosted this. So Bill Lee hosted this Speedway Classic. He was there shaking hands. Okay, that's another piece of it. But then the kicker is it got rain delayed. So this happened Saturday. So you could look at this. Game resumed on August 3rd because it started August 2nd. And you had detractors being like, no, this game was on August 2nd. It's like, it's a coincidence. They just happened to be at a NASCAR track, but William Byron, he didn't run until the next day. Well, it got rained out. They made sure that this was going on the same day that William Byron won his next race in Iowa. So fast forward to today and another dead obvious ritual where you have, like you said, National Tennessee Day. Like, who cares and who thinks about this crap? But all this stuff matters. And you have this piece of the puzzle. We've been preaching this all season long, and we've done somewhat of our due diligence. I wouldn't say like perfectly for sure, but last week I ran Bill Lee's numbers. I was running all sorts of stuff. But without that piece of information that is National Tennessee Day, that's the ritual. So you're going to miss out on that. And so that's just a quick refresher for anybody who's might be wondering what's the connection here with Tennessee and Byron, or Byron and the governor. Well, they share the same name, and those 3 wins were definitely linked to Tennessee, the governor, and it's pretty evident. But as well as what you were talking about, you're talking about the potential winner next week and how it could play out. We've talked about a couple of narratives, and we've just recently on the last month or so really honed in on the Christopher Bell Chase Briscoe connection, to where I think we're pretty keen on them being probably related in some way, that they just. But on top of that, did you know that Christopher Bell was the one that got Chase Briscoe in to his first contract? So they go way back.
Yeah, you texted me that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I hit you. I don't think I covered this on the stream though. So this is just another thing for everybody to keep in mind, that Christopher Bell got him. Think of Christopher Bell as the older brother. I think they had their birthdays separated by a year or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
One day.
Yeah. I know it's like the 12th and 13th or something.
Yeah, I sent you the
15th.
Yeah, I sent you the Winston Cup list too this week because I didn't know they were together in that too. We were talking about how they finish together every week. They're by each other in the race. They're finished right next to each other, and sure enough, even in the Winston Cup format, they're both the most consistent cars, or at least coming into this race. I think they might still be 1-2. I'll have to see when that gets updated, but yeah, they're inseparable, but they got
Yeah.
separated in this playoff format.
Yeah, I don't know why I said a year. I just realized I said a year. I don't. Yeah, you're right. One day. I don't know why I said a year. But yeah, their birthdays one day apart, and who knows? It's probably a just a formality to not admit that they're twins. Um, and yeah, I guess according to their age, you got Big Brother taking it this to this year. Um, I mean, guys, they look rather similar too. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Uh, anyway, we could go into the physiognomy or whatever of it all too. But so yeah, as far as the winner of the last race in the playoffs, winning the championship series, I would say it's high. It's rather likely um, to have a driver go back to back. Although the narrative, I think there's a pretty interesting narrative here, like you mentioned, with Bell potentially winning, and Big Bro winning the the championship. So Bell will win the race. Briscoe wins the championship. They get to go home and celebrate with their parents. um,
One car number apart, one day apart.
yes, exactly. There's just so much that links them together inexplicably, and you can go and look. It's not like anything says flat out that they are related or anything like that. So it's just more obvious bloodline manipulation. There's nepotism all throughout NASCAR. It's literally ran on nepotism. In fact, you could almost say that the lawsuit that 23XI and Trackhouse have been going through with NASCAR has to do with nepotism. Because they're basically saying it's not fair that you guys get you're basically your sons and grandsons in when just based on your legacy. Anyway, that's another story that's going to develop after the season too, because they're going back to court for that. And so that's another. Speaking of narratives, that's been Denny's narrative all year long, and look at him winning more races than anybody else. Meanwhile, he's suing NASCAR. So we've talked about that angle too, about how this is just like a big fu. Another thing is, you mentioned Bell not making it in when he's clearly according to the Winston Cup rules, he would he's far and away he won. Well, I mean, not far and away, but he won according to the old standard. And we've been covering this week on and week off. This is how you get dissension in order to usher in a new set of rules, which, by the way, is a trending thing. Every sport has changed their rules. I don't keep up on things. I just have like seen highlights here and there, and I'm just like, whoa, what's happening there? Like, I didn't like recently kickoffs that you don't like kick off the same anymore. Like, have you noticed that NFL kickoffs, they're much different. You don't like run after you hit the ball. You wait till they catch the ball. There's weird things. And then also, they stopped counting heaves against people's field goal percentage in basketball, so you can heave it up from so you won't get people like not heaving it, not giving it a chance anymore. You know how people will try to protect their 3-point shooting, so they won't heave the ball at the end of the half and quarters and stuff like that. Well, they changed it to where that doesn't affect things now. So there's point being, there's a lot of different rules coming into effect, and so I would imagine that sweeping rule changes. I mean, you might not see a full format change, but you could see potential rule changes next year, maybe even just track changes, because a lot of the tracks that they did this year, they say is the last year they're ever doing them. So we're going to get new tracks either way next year. And I don't know how it works. If there's a filter, if there's a, like, they stagger different tracks out and it's like a common practice, but it's still interesting nonetheless. So I did want to check our boy. Wanted to look at good old Gordon.
Big Jeffy.
Hefe. Or Epstein. Google's telling me to look up Epstein. Maybe that's what I should do. Very interesting. Another thing too is his birthday was, the day after that Iowa win too. So that was, I'm sure, a big tell.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we might have even covered that.
I think we did.
But I know you have some deeper insights into Gordon and the history of that. Why don't you talk about that as I double check his numbers for this upcoming race?
Yeah, it's good. It's very interesting because it's, like I said, it's 30 years since Jeff Gordon won his first championship. That was 95, of course. And then, of course, 10 years ago, like I said, it was his last win, his last shot at the Final Four. And that was it for Gordon. So he had his career there and everything. And yeah, and it's interesting, with because I mean Jeff Gordon too. It's if they didn't change the playoffs and stuff, it's interesting. He would have won 7 NASCAR championships too, instead of just winning the 4. He would have won 7 if you do Winston Cup style. There's only a few years where the driver that actually won the championship would have actually won the Winston Cup as well. There's only a couple years like that. Jimmy Johnson would only had 3 championships. Gordon would have had 7. So yeah, instead, Johnson ends up with 7. Gordon only has 4. So you just see how much that changes with the way the playoffs are. And yeah, and with Jeff Gordon, everything. I mean, there's it's funny too. Like I've mentioned too, how Bill Lee, the governor there from Franklin, Tennessee, like Sterling Marlin from Franklin, Tennessee, and he won 94, 95 Daytona 500s, and then William Byron does it 30 years later, the 2024 and 2025 Daytona 500s. And I thought last year maybe Byron, that might have been a ritual too. 2024, he's driving the 24. Maybe that was a a call out to Jeff Gordon, but it really seems like it very well could be possible this year as well. Especially just Jeff Gordon, especially being 54, Cabal 54, Cable 54, all the 45s, 54s, Ritual 45, and just those numbers, just they never lie. And born on 8-4, just like Jesuit 84, Austin 84. So you got a lot of connections, and with Jeff Gordon, Hendrick and stuff, and all the championships they have. I mean, like I said, they won it in 2020, 2021. So it's been 4 years since Hendricks won it, but
Hendrick was
definitely
founded in '84 too. Motorsport, or it was called All Star, but it was founded in '84. Interesting. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
very interesting. Yeah, I mean it's and it's weird too, like with like I said, with like the NASCAR game just coming out with William Byron on the cover and him being the best car and stuff. And I'm always wondering, when is Byron going to win a championship in that 24? It's just seems like it very well might be this year. And you look at the way everything's kind of playing out right now, and then just the kind of the narrative overall too. I mean, you got of course you got Larson there, Mr. 201. He hasn't won in a while, but yeah, I kind of see just it really seemed like this week was a big, this race was a big kind of just going back to a decade ago Ritual, and then of course 3 decades ago. And it seems like this year might make more sense for Byron to get in. Like I said, Byron's been in it the last 2 years and he's gotten third the last 3 years. This is his 3rd straight year, and he's the only guy to be in it the last year and even 2 years. So you look at it and it just seems like it's kind of, if you look at the way it's been going, it's kind of looks like it would be his time or he's up to win it. And Jeff Gordon, I know Jeff Gordon ended up with a total of 93 wins. Talk about 93 a lot with, Ryan Blaney and stuff. That was always huge. And, Jeff Gordon with just obviously, like I said, the 4 championships, could have been 7 if they would have kept the Winston Cup format. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see too. And you still have, like I said, you got one other Hendrick car in it, and it's either, like I said, it's either going to be a Gibbs, somewhat of a Gibbs ritual for different reasons, or it's going to be a Hendrick ritual. But with Jeff Gordon just being the guy that's pretty much the start of Hendrick winning and the domination all these years and stuff, and then now you look at it all these years later, and he's got that Russell Wilson birthday coming up. So it's interesting. He's got his birthday coming up. He's going to be the golden boy next year. So kind of see a lot of things booming for Byron in the future. It's kind of, it's been that way all year. You just go back and look at the last couple of races. I mean, the weird spin last week that made no sense, and all the other races that he could have won and led laps and dominated. He ends up winning the regular season championship. So he did win that. So that's pretty big. And then that weird wreck there at Vegas where he just straight up crashed, just couldn't steer clear of, I forget who that was, but yeah, that weird wreck. And
Like
now you
Chastain
have,
or something.
yeah, I can't remember who that was, but it kind of seems like maybe they were setting something up, maybe possibly for Byron, just the way this whole year has gone. And yeah, it just seems like there's a lot there right now. And, with all the success Jeff Gordon has had, it seems weird to see, obviously Jeff Gordon hasn't won a championship it's been 24 years since Jeff Gordon won his last championship too, in the 24 car in 2001. So that's another thing to think about. 24 years, the 24 car. So that could be another huge thing playing into this.
Oh yeah, that seems very, very telling, in my opinion. You just look at some of the numbers, some of the old standbys. You got the 144s, the 153s, the 72s, all throughout Hendrick and their names, and so it's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Let's take a quick look ahead. As far as so it's just called Phoenix Raceway, okay. And Phoenix is interesting, just the iconography of a phoenix, of death and rebirth. We'll see what that plays into anything. Phoenix Raceway on 211 on 2/11. Oh wow, what do you know? Um, got that 6-7. I'm not gonna do it, but let's take a look here at we do like to look at it's been kind of a thing on our channel, just going through and looking up all these tracks, because even like the individual counties they're in usually are very telling about their where they got their start, and who really built this system from the ground up for today. And you can say that I'm sure a lot of people have come through every sport with you know rose colored glasses on, and thought the best of things, and really tried to compete and think that it was made a valiant effort at trying to do things the right way. But we all know that sports, that is not what won out with organized sports. It's more evident than it's ever been, and we need people to wake up to this so that we really can save ourselves, but save our own mental fortitude, because you're going to have a bunch of drones worried about sports when we're about to hit some major agendas coming up. And what happened the last time we had a uh, population of people more concerned with outward stupid garbage, pop culture, and entertainment and sports, and then some actual shit hit the fan. We had mayhem, and people didn't know left from right, and they were they had to turn to Big Daddy uh, nightly news to guide them in each and every step. And we're headed towards something even worse, this next time, because you would think that would have woke people up to it, and people would be more, you know it would be harder the next time around to fool people. I don't think that that's going to be the case with the way things are trending, unfortunately. You have still so many people willing to sell their time and energy to rigged sports and rigged entertainment and rigged politics and rigged news and rigged shootings, and that all that time being taken from them, or they're giving, I should say. I shouldn't take their responsibility away. All the time that they're conceding is time that they need to better themselves before big things. And whether or not big things means like some sort of national travesty or global something, it doesn't really matter. Big things are happening for everybody. Big things will happen in your life. If you're listening, big things are coming. One way or another, unless you go hide in a hole somewhere, um, one way or another, things are going to be happening in your life, and you're going to have to get through big hurdles, and you're just not going to be equipped if you continue to stagnate in this like cesspool of fictitious garbage, and it's just playing into their hands so perfectly that it's honestly quite worrisome. But as long as you can hold yourself up first and those around you, that's what you gotta aim to be able to do. And from there you can start reaching out towards everybody else. But based off the last national emergency, I'm not holding out too much hope for being able to rely on too many people around me, unfortunately.
Yeah, and something that could be a sign here that I see possibly, like I just said, it's been 24 years since Jeff Gordon won the championship, and obviously William Byron drives a 24.
Mhm.
That could be huge for next week. That could be one of the huge things going for Byron to win this. Remember Jeff Gordon's last championship, like I said, 24 years ago in the 24. That was, obviously 2001. That was 9/11, and you know, um, Chase Elliott, I don't remember if he took over. I think he took over the 24 car in 2016.
Mm.
When Jeff Gordon got out of it, Chase Elliott was in that car for a few years. I can't remember what year he went to the 9 car. That might have been 2020 when he went to the 9. Remember, Chase Elliott did win the 2020 championship. Larson won it 2021, but remember so um, Chase Elliott winning it in 2020, but he was in the 24 car. The 24 car has not won the championship in 24 years since Jeff Gordon, but Chase Elliott was in it there for a few years.
Mm.
2016, 17, 18, I think 19 as well. And I can't remember. I think 2020 might have been his first year in the 9, or maybe it was 2018. Maybe he was only in that car for a couple years. Maybe he was only in it for like 2016, 2017. I forget. But he was in that 24 car. He did go on to win a championship, but it was in the 9 in 2020. So remember, 2020 was COVID too.
Mhm.
So COVID 2020, Chase Elliott was in the 24 before that, but then last time the 24 championship was won in the 24 car was 9/11. So if Byron does get it done, you know
That
those
could be some
don't let those flames fool you.
that could be some 2020 foresight here, because what you're talking about is kind of identifying exactly how they, using the past in order to foresee the future. Because like you said, that almost to me reads like that's the reason why he switched numbers, is because they couldn't have him win in the 24.
Right. Wasn't his
You know
time
what
yet.
exactly. It wasn't the 24's time yet, almost.
Right.
You start to look into these things. I do very well feel like these people are just puppets on strings, and they're filling a role. And at the end of the day, they're less important than the number on the car. It's actually crazy how the actual ruling system works. But and there's a reason they always say your number's up. There's a people are out here literally representing numbers and living and dying based on it, or at least so we're told. I mean, the other most famous 24, Kobe Bryant. Look at him.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Okay. Also, this would be a pretty early birthday gift for Mr. Byron
Yeah.
too, like you mentioned.
Yep.
What was it? AR. Yeah, Phoenix AR has the 56 like NASCAR. So we've
And the
been able to
43 as
and
well.
the 43. Yeah, we've always been able to like see that these tracks are always tied to NASCAR, obviously, but also, which keep in mind, guys, it wasn't called NASCAR. This track was established in '64. This is before NASCAR, right? I'm pretty sure NASCAR was a newer name. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
think
I guess
NASCAR.
NASCAR was back then.
Yeah, I think they started in '48.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So I'm
Illuminati
thinking
48.
of
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I'm thinking of like separate. Never mind. Okay, I'm thinking of never mind that. Strike that from the record. Funny enough, you mentioned Jimmy Johnson. This takes place on Jimmy Johnson Drive.
Yeah.
And it takes place in Avondale, which is interesting. You mentioned that 93. Avondale has the 93 amongst others as the 177. We're always able to tie these tracks back to the Jesuit order. Through the numbers. We just came from obviously Martinsville, VA, 177, 201, 93, heading into Avondale, 93, 177, 60. I mean, guys, this is not arbitrary. What is interesting is if we can get together and try to maybe figure out an expose in the off season for the history of NASCAR and things of that nature, and really tracking down these like founding members and stuff like that. Because I do think that, I mean, it's not I think, I know that, sports are attributed to Freemasons. I don't think that this is any different. Something to look at, the France family. The Jesuits are from France. There's definitely a joke in there. So there is definitely something to be said for NASCAR, just like every other sport. But doing an expose on like all the suburbs and cities where these tracks are held and how they're, I mean, you have to get city. There's a ton of city planning you have to do for the most part, and unless you're doing like a pretty uh, distant suburb, um, to get a whole track put in and things of that nature. And I'm talking about like the actual logistics of setting this stuff up. It took manpower and things to do, and that establishes that there's a like a framework. There's a plan put into place, and the people who are leading that plan printed their numbers all over, just like laying the cornerstone. You'll find that usually the construction team that lays the cornerstone like to imprint their a saying or something onto the cornerstone. It's a tradition. We're talking about masons here. We're talking about Jesuit order, heavy influence within the Masons. So hard to deny the Masonic ties when you got a guy, Mr. 33, Joe Gibbs, in there right now. This could be his retirement party. This could be his retirement gift. Because he's been talking about stepping down another 84-year-old to get that 8-4 in there. We've mentioned that his birthday will be right after
4 days before Byron's.
Yep. So very interesting moving forward, guys. We got not too much left on the table, although it's interesting how they'll go about it. What narrative are they looking to? Because the ending of this season will just be the birth of the next one. Funnily enough, you got it ending in Phoenix. I think that's probably the reason why they do that. But so are they going to highlight the inequity within their league so that to initiate sweeping changes? That's your Denny Hamlin's your guy, which, by the way, we've had Denny Hamlin circled as the linchpin for midway through the season, or maybe even a little bit before. I think during his potential three-peat, during his two-peat and almost three-peat, we saw him as like an enforcer. Like think of like the vets on teams that like don't make sense in like NBA, and they're just like their leadership in the locker room. It's like, shut your ass up. There's no such thing. They're just told to do what they're gonna do. And what that is, that's code word for they are stage managers. The vets on a lot of these teams, they're stage managers. And by the way, we're talking about sports being rigged and fake. Look at what they're doing in the NBA. Just kick off the season. The whole sports gambling rigged or throwing games with the Portland with Chauncey Billups of the Blazers, Terry Rozier of the Raptors, formerly of the Raptors, and now new names are coming out, including LeBron. Well, I can go into that. We'll see if we do have our famed guest ready to go, and I'm super excited. So as we say every week, guys, you guys are giving us a lot of good insight. I know I got emails about the 2K or the NASCAR cover and things of that nature. Keep coming with those because we got one race to figure out. So if you guys have, I'm down to put out a community notes at whatever comes up. If we're able to spot something ahead of time, it'd be nice to get it out there for the community. But yeah, without further ado, let's get our esteemed guest in here. Everybody, big round of applause for King Richard. How's it going, King?
How's it going, gentlemen?
Going okay. With the Ford couldn't come through, but King comes through for us, the Ford Pete.
Yep. I mean, just doing my best, man. I mean, I'm just covering the latest, but I mean, yeah, again, just got a lot of stuff to talk about too on this stream. Hopefully, we can go long. Probably about 3 hours.
We are at 7:50 right now. Yeah, I mean, let's push it.
Sure. Yeah, we got a lot to cover, man. This post, RIP to the latest ritual sacrifice. The what is it? The former Jets player died at age 41. We'll talk about that and how it's synced up with Rex Ryan. Some of the other things. Another somebody in the world of the college football is also dead as well. So we'll talk about all that type of stuff. But yeah, again, it's par for the course, man. It's par for the course. All these rituals again, all the time, just same old stuff. Again, you guys follow Zach, and I'm pretty sure everybody that watches, they follow Zach. They know that we just talk about the same stuff over and over and over, just same patterns over and over. But let me share my screen here real quick because I want to talk about this because it's just more proof of what's going on in the world of the professional sports entertainment. And let's see if I can share my window here. Give me a second here.
Hopefully we'll touch on the whole I just kind of like led into to putting you on here with the, we were talking about how rigged all sports are, but
yeah,
getting even more.
We'll get to that. We'll cover all that, and we'll cover it in great detail. But here, this is my website. If anybody out there is not subscribed or following my website, it's freegematria.truth.blogspot.com. Again, I post here pretty much every day because, again, I'm covering the latest news. But we'll talk about Nick Mangold. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Mangold. Supposedly dropped dead at age 41 for unknown reasons. And now they're saying he died from a kidney disease. I doubt it was a kidney disease that took him out. But here, just check this out. All this 106 crap they've been doing. Last Sunday, you had who was it? You had Peyton Manning pay tribute to Demaryius Thomas in a sick Masonic ritual. 33s all over the place. But you had number 18, Peyton Manning, pay tribute to Demaryius Thomas. Number 88, again in Gematria, Demaryius Thomas sums to 88, so on and so forth. But 18 plus 88 is 106. You had him paying tribute in the 106th season of the NFL. Of course, he died a span of 106 days before Peyton Manning's birthday back in 2021, back on December 9th. That was during week 9 of the NFL. But yeah, just look at this, man. I mean, really, this man died yesterday. Yesterday would have been the 25th. So he died 106 days before the start of the NFL, or the Super Bowl. And again, here we are on the 106th season. Again, the Super Bowl this year, or coming up next year, it'll conclude the 106th NFL season. But just notice this. He died 49 days before Rex Ryan's birthday, the former coach of the Jets. And you guys see this morning on ESPN, he was on there, crocodile tears, no kind of emotion. But, yeah, he died 49 days before Rex Ryan's birthday, his former coach. And in Gematria, Super Bowl sums to 41 as well as 49. And just think about that, right? The 49ers are going to be hosting the Super Bowl, which will conclude the 106th NFL season. So you see how it's so perfect. Again, I got into it with somebody on Facebook because I share this information on Facebook, and you got a lot of morons out there, really dumb people, people who don't have any IQ points. They sit here and say this stuff's schizophrenic. I want to ask you guys, what is your thoughts on that? People that say that this work is schizophrenia. What do you guys think about that?
I think, I've tried to talk to people about this stuff too. And it's like, what's so frustrating to me is like, when you try to share this, it doesn't, with religious people or anybody else, it's like, oh yeah, Gematria, that sounds interesting. I have to look into that. They never do, and they never will, because they're just so caught in their own life and their own beliefs. And I just don't understand why people have to think that this stuff is just like, or they'll look at it like, oh, well, this is Jewish mysticism. Are you Jewish? Are you practicing this? It's like, no.
Yeah.
Think about your alphabet. Like 2026 is coming. 26. Yeah. That's no arbitrary number. Cobain 26, COVID 26. There's God equals 26. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. Like, there's
The word letter is also 26. But yeah.
Oh yeah, there's millions of 26s, and it's like, you show it to somebody, explain it to somebody, and it's just like, I don't understand why, this knowledge isn't like, not only like how easy it is to understand. Like, you think about your alphabet, why we have to learn it in order. You don't have to learn the alphabet in order to, read, write, to talk or anything, just, why is there an order? Why is it 1 through 26? What is this? Like, these are just basic things people don't even ask, don't even think about. And then like you try to talk this, explain this to people, and it's just nobody has any interest in looking at this and understanding this. And I don't understand why this has to be like so taboo and so like voodoo and just so out there, and why it's so hard to pick up. It's like, it's so easy. Like, it's so simple. It's so basic. Yeah. And it's not even like, this applies to anything and everything. I talk all the time, like how my name is the exact same as, Nirvana, William Nirvana, and all these other things, and Austin Jesuit. And it's like, all these things just intrigue me. It's just like, wow, that's crazy. What are the chances of that? Like, people just aren't receptive to this for whatever reason, or it's just like they're so into their religion or other stuff. But when it comes to, Gematria and numbers and all this, or you people don't want to think that something's rigged, or that it's it's scripted by the numbers. I mean, you could show someone like we talked about a couple. I think it was episode 47. We are talking about or maybe it was last time we were talking about like Dr. Creep pandemic. Uh,
I was on that episode. Yeah, we
2020
talked
bodies
about that.
stacking, like, and people are going to write that off as a coincidence. Like coronavirus combined with 2020 bodies stacking, and you're going to sleep on there. You let that slide. It's like, man, I don't even know. And it's just, it's frustrating. It's annoying how people just will not accept this. And
exactly.
And that's another thing. I got, it was a few years ago when I was living in Wyoming. I got into a huge scuffle with the Jesus freak I was living with at the time. He was down, and I was trying to. He's like, so what is it with this gematria? Like, what is it that this Zachary K. Hubbard? What is with this? And I was trying to explain it to him, and he's just like, well, Jesus in the Bible, it's absolute, Austin. This is absolute. Like what you're saying there's a chance. I'm like, no. See, a game can be, double coded. It like the race today, it could have been and should have been for Ryan Blaney, but because it was, International Tennessee Day, that's why William Byron won the race. Like, and so it said, oh, but you pick Blaney, you pick Ford. See, you're wrong. See, Christianity's not wrong. The Bible's not wrong. Jesus isn't wrong. Like, your stuff is flawed. And then, I'd be playing Zach stuff in the other room, and I'd have the volume up, and he would just like snap. He'd just like flip out. He's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You gotta stop listening to him. This is crap. And you just freak out. It's just like everyone gets so emotional about this stuff, and it's like, it's maddening. And it's just like, this should be so elementary. It's like 2020. I didn't have to, know anything about gematria or anything to know that 2020 was going to be a bad year, just because it was simply 2020. And I told people, I'm like, you better get your shit together for 2020. You better be you better be aware for 2020. You better be ready for 2020. 2020 is coming. And I knew 2020 was going to be a bad year. And it's like, just because it was, 2020, and I knew what was up, and just like, everybody has let that slide. And I'd be talking about, it's like, you don't find it funny that we have this lockdown and COVID and all that stuff going on when it's 2020? Like, doesn't that sound a little funny? Like, kind of like 100 years ago, 1920, there was the Spanish flu and stuff. Now 100 years later, here it comes again. Apparently, it's just
102 years precisely, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's just all these things people don't even people think they don't want to think about it. It's just too much for them. And then it's just like, basic things, simple things, event 201, or just a number like 201 or something, something real simple, real basic, how it's just everywhere. And it's just like, people will be like, well, religion in the Bible, what we're talking about is all facts. It's not, and it's like, what am I showing you that's not facts? What am I showing you? Like, where do you think all this stuff comes from? Who gave you the language? Who gave you all this stuff? Think about why you have to learn this in order. Like, people, I try to explain it to them, like, down to the fine details of why you're in the classroom, why you're in there, grades, kindergarten through 12, why you go for all these years and what this is all for. Like, this should be so basic. It should be so elementary to people, yet they want to just laugh, scoff at you, or it's just too much to handle, or they're just too into their Bible, their religion, or they're just so tuned out from reality. And it blows me away that people don't want to talk about this. They don't want to share it. They still can't figure it out after everything that's happened. I mean, and, you go back to 2020, all the 56s. I mean, NASCAR 56, you look at all these 56s. It goes on.
And they paid tribute to George Floyd, another 56 operation. So, yeah, I never forget that. Yeah, they were paying tribute to George Floyd. I can't remember it, but was it with the news thing? I can't remember it off the top of my head. But
let me cut in here, guys. Let me play devil's advocate for the naysayers. I will say this. for the naysayers. I do appreciate a wholesome amount of distrust in certain things. I don't think everybody should go, diving headfirst into every single thing. You see a lot of that. I think that's why you have such burnout with gematria. Is because people dive in headfirst and they expect great like magic. They expect it to be magical rather than logical. And then when it comes to applying the logic, they're like, where's the magic? Where's the thing that makes it, does it for me? Where's the why isn't it
the
obvious?
beneficial part? Right.
That's true too. Yeah. When how does it
How does it benefit
affect
me?
my status quo right this minute too. It's like, it's not even just benefiting you, it's benefiting you right this minute because people's attention spans are like that. So I will say that I think it is healthy to have a small, enough to, not just be naive moving into every single topic, because, you look at the topics that are like overwhelmingly um abundant on YouTube, all the theories and certain things. It's like, yeah, they can be interesting. There are a really good thing, especially religion. Guys, look at the uptick of religion. We're on a religious upswing to where you're going to see religious in with the youth. The youth will be, not to say that they're living religiously, as the doctrine would say, holy or holier than thou, but they will be espousing religion. Just look for that. We're headed towards a religious war between Allah
Right.
and Christ. That's coming again. That we fought. I would say the most wars fought on this planet are over Allah and God, Allah and
Right.
other gods. So
Right. Yeah.
to think that they would just end, they're not going to end. We're headed towards another one. But yeah, I will say having a healthy, disposition to everything makes enough sense. But to close off your mind, and to not accept the obvious truth, that's where, obviously that's just is getting ridiculous. And these people can't be, they can't be pleased and they can't be reasoned with.
Right.
So it's really not worth the time. Unfortunately, there's a lot more people like that than reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially out in your, you know what I mean? Just like everyday life, I guess you can say. Just like for instance, what I try to do, like the other day, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I try to go out there. I actually had to go to an interview, and I seen somebody out there on the street corner, and they're kind of advocating for people to vote to get something about voting, right? And I was like, what's funny is his name was Austin too, and this dude was advocating for people to start voting in elections or whatever, and I was like, okay, so I'm like, hey, you want to learn some information? You got some time to learn some knowledge? He's like, sure. He's a young guy. He's about 30 years old. And I was telling him about, hey, so you know what they did to Charlie Kirk, right? And I started explaining to him how Charlie Kirk died 88 days after Trump's birthday, and in Gematria, Trump equals 88. I was showing him the Gematria calculator and all that type of stuff, showing how the ciphers work. And I'm like, transitioning from that. Did you know that during the 2024 election, it fell on King James, the anniversary of King James almost being assassinated by the Jesuits? And King James, he died at age 58. And he was a Rosicrucian, and he was a Freemason. And Trump won the 58th presidential election that year after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower. And I was explaining this stuff to him, but I felt like he was more engaged in trying to get people to get signatures instead of trying to understand the information. Now, I did, write down my blog, and I said, hey, check it out if you have some time. Look into this stuff. Gematria, I even spelled it out for him. But it's like people like that, they need to be reached, because people like that, and I understand he's probably, to me, honestly, I thought he was kind of like a tool. He was listening, but it went in one ear and went out the other ear, because I don't think he was really paying attention. He cared more about getting signatures than, understand what I was talking about. And he even told me right there, he's like, man, I can't. He's like, man, this is interesting, but I can't really say anything because they're gonna come after me, and they're not gonna like that I'm listening to you talking about this stuff, and it basically has to go with the status quo. And I was like, come on, dude. I mean, you should understand what I'm talking about and say, you know what, screw you guys. I'm not gonna get any signatures. I'm not gonna go along with this sham. It's amazing how people in this world, in America, they want to play pretend. People are just pretending, going out there, voting in rigged elections, things that are obviously rigged. You know what I mean? It's sad. It is sad. But
no, you're absolutely right. I spoke on this a couple of weeks ago about how people are so enamored with their front. Like everybody is so like used to putting up a front that it's.
Mm-hmm.
It bleeds into everything. You look at, obviously the transgender garbage, and
Right.
that's like one of the extreme ends of it. But like you were saying, it comes down to this, and it's just like, what's that guy getting paid? Minimum wage?
Right. Yeah, he's getting paid like minimum wage, which is here in California it's not much. It's what, 16.50, 16.75 if you're lucky. So he's getting paid minimum wage to go out there and spread the lie to other people, and it's like, and that's what kind of pissed me off too. It's like, dude, come on, man, like pull your head out of your ass. I finally tell him, like, dude, pull your head out of your ass, dude. It's like it's 2025. It's the information age. How do you not know about this stuff? You know what I mean? But then again, you got to ask yourself, the reason why people don't ask or know about this information is because it's been suppressed. Look how many channels I've gone through. I've gone through about 4 channels already, almost 10 Twitter accounts for sharing gematria. You know what I mean? And Zach, he's lost 25 YouTube accounts and counting. You know what I mean? It's the censorship is unreal. But that's another reason why, this information is not really getting out. Another thing that I'm going to address too is there's a lot of people that come in this community and they just do like the most outlandish decodes, if you will, just making the work look like shit. What I mean is basically people will just type in a random phrase in the calculator and be like, oh, see, that equals that, so that's the ritual. It's like, no, you don't just type in random phrases and then put it in the calculator and be like, oh yeah, this equals that. That's not what I do. What I do is, again, if I see the news story, I see what's emphasized in the news story. If it has gematria behind it, it corresponds with how many days the ritual came or after somebody's birthday, yada, yada. But, there's a lot of people out there who do make this work look like dog shit. So I will say that. And what are your guys' opinions on that? What do you guys think about that when you guys see posts like that? Because I'm pretty sure you guys see posts like that on social media.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, there's people that they don't, understand this information, and they're kind of like half-assing it, or they just, you got a lot of trolls too. It's, you got the trolls that, want to, just because you missed one thing, or because, there's a game was double coded or something, the trolls will come out of nowhere, and then you're going to have way more trolls and, people against you, or, and then they're going to build up, and you're going to get more people over there. Or, you got other people that just, because of the times we're in, they're just, maybe they're just mentally unstable. They can't, like, they're not strong in who they are, and they'll just jump ship. They'll become a hater, a troll. They'll just go against you, even though, we lost so many people in this community too. You got to think, like I said, when I was young, I was 19, 20, 21. I was, watching Zach, way back in the day, back in like 2016, there was hundreds, thousands of views, up to millions of views. You got to look at where all those people go. How did we lose people in the last decade? That's the other thing too. Everyone's dropped off. You got, nobody really, you don't really have many people, many channels talking about this stuff. We're one of the very few people, and like you said, we're so suppressed. You can't get the information out there, and you try and, get people in on it. Then you got, like you were talking about, these voters, and then they're gonna, say, they're asked backwards, because they're gonna say, well, you didn't vote, so you got nothing to, you can't say anything because you didn't even vote. It's like, no, you got it backwards. You're the one voting, so you can't say anything. You're participating in the bullshit. You got to not participate in the bullshit.
Yeah, validating the lie. Right.
Yeah, and they think it's all real and legit, and they're pushing along like, well, you didn't vote, so you got nothing to say. You didn't pick a side. You didn't pick left or right or red or blue, so you can't talk. It's your problem. It's your fault. No, it's like, it's your fault. It's your problem. You're picking a side, voting for two losers every time. It's your fault. It's just like, and then, and that's another big thing too. You got the political divide and all this stuff. That's just gotten worse. I used to think people, like over a decade ago, before like Trump in 2017, it was a lot easier to reach people and talk to people about things. And there was so much stuff you could find on the internet to go along with this stuff. Now, a lot of that stuff's not on the internet anymore. You can't find it. It's been gone. It's been erased for a long time. And that makes it harder. And then this work's been just completely, covered up. You can't, there's only, like I said, a few channels, only a few people. So, there's not many people towing the line. And the other problem is too, you got, all the bullshit that's being pushed, and with AI and everything too. You got, things are getting taken down. It's hard to even leave a lot of comments or posts, because that'll get, shunned or taken down, or, and then you try and get other people, other channels and stuff involved. And then, I just don't know why other people can't seem to find this stuff. And then it's just like you share the work, or we're, like I said, we're trying to get people involved, people to come on here, people to debate. It doesn't have to be gematria. I mean, if it's gematria, great. If they can come on to it, great. But there's not a lot of unity right now. Everyone's pitted against each other, so that's also making it very hard to get this out there, like with distrust in people and people not knowing what to believe and what's real. It's very hard to get people to understand this basic information, because everyone's just so brainwashed, and everybody's just they want to make you the enemy or the bad guy, because it's just like they're just so far gone. They're caught up in their religion, they're caught up in their politics. They don't want to really actually learn or see what's going on and how to stop things. I mean, if people knew about Event 201, people don't even know about Event 201. People still don't even know about that. I mean, that's what blows me away. And it's just like, this is a thing. And it's like, at what point are people going to say, you know what, there's something going on here. This is rigged. I'm not, voting anymore. I can't believe there's still people that are participating, still voting, and still going to call me wrong, or still trying to pick a side. I mean, and like I said, if they're not caught up in sports, or they just don't want to learn this, or they don't want to understand this, and then that's why they're really missing out, because they could see how everything in life, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people just think they want to think it's like sports related or money related. I mean, this knowledge applies to everything. Like I said, it's there is an organic side. Obviously, there's a rig side to it as well. So, you got both worlds that you're coming into with this. And, I think, some people might even see, maybe, the dark magic side to this, where, it's like you get into this, or you start talking about this or pushing this, stuff's going to happen to you. It takes a strong person. There's not many strong people out there. So if you're not strong, you're not going to toe the line with this work, because bad shit's going to happen. I mean, look at the stuff that's happened to me, especially the last few years of my life. I mean, all the stuff that's happened to me, in my whole life in the last few years. And, everyone else that's, Zach and others that have been around this community, you're going to lose shit. Your life's going to get fucked up. You're going to have to go through a lot if you start pushing this, talking about it, promoting it. There's going to be consequences, and people don't want to face consequences, just like what's going to happen to us soon too. We keep calling out these fake shootings, these fake assassinations. There's going to be hell to pay for that. We're not going to go, we're going to be penalized. We won't be able to participate. We won't be able to do anything because of what we say and what we do. So that's a huge part of it too. A lot of people, they don't want to lose that comfort. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to lose, that comfy cushion they got. They don't want to give up what they have, and they don't want to be alienated and ostracized. So they're going to keep, they're going to keep to themselves. They're not really going to want to push this, because they don't, why do they want to get their YouTube deleted and lose their viewers and, have to go through hell, so that's a huge part of it too. So yeah, it's a very multifaceted issue that we're up against, and it's coming from all angles, and it's got to come to a point where there's more stronger people like us to toe the line with it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, just like you were saying, we were talking about this the other day too. The other time that I was on here, we were talking about that too. Like, this is just step one. You've seen people out there, they're trying to get people fired from their jobs. They're trying to get people taken out of their career, all this type of stuff. You even got people, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but there's some woman in Chicago that was supposedly mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there were, you had people on the right trying to get this woman fired. It's like, okay, so it's like, this is step one, and you got these people you got other people asking for a police surveillance state. That's what they're building. Recently you just had the government shutdown.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this, watch out for July 3rd of 2026. That'll be 275 days after the government shutdown, but it'll be the 184th day of the year. Of course, in Gematria, federal government equals 184 as well as 275. But and we'll see what happens.
My mom's birthday, so now I got something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely, and it'll also be 19 days after Donald Trump's birthday. Of course, in Gematria, chaos equals 19. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if they prolong this, because I'm thinking they're gonna prolong this stuff as much as they can. They're gonna try to milk it as much as they can.
Oh yeah,
and it's insane how you got people out there who you try to explain that, not even just a Gematria piece. You just try to explain to them how you're being ruled over by tyrants. You're being ruled over by a cabal, if you will. And you got people out there who be like, "Oh, who cares, man? I love Donald Trump." It's like, Do you not see what Donald Trump's been doing for the past when he's been in office? He's the one responsible for inflation. People want to blame Biden, but it wasn't Biden. It was Jesuit-educated Donald Trump. Don't worry. Again, for anybody out there, I don't care for none of these parties. I don't care for the Democrats. I don't care for the Republicans. I call them out equally. But you got Donald Trump, signing his $1.2 trillion stimulus relief package, printing more money. I told people right there and then, I'm like, this is not a good sign. This is going to cause inflation. It might not be right now, but it might be next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years. I'm going to just watch. This is going to cause hyperinflation because this is what always happens. Whenever you print out money or whenever you print out a surplus of money, you're going to expect hyperinflation to, become the thing. And that's exactly what's happened. Prices for food's going up. Everything's going up. The cost of living's going up, especially here in California. It's going up, at a high rate. So you got these morons who are like, oh, that was Biden's doing. It's like, no, retard, it was Donald Trump's doing. And don't get me wrong, Biden, he helped out, keep it going. But obviously, we know it was Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the guy in office when the whole COVID thing happened. So, and by the way, I want to point this out. I don't know if you guys knew this, but COVID in septenary in gematria, it equals 19. So when you write out COVID, it equals 19. So it's like, go figure why they had COVID-19.
And it hasn't changed.
Exactly.
Still waiting on COVID 25, man.
Right, exactly.
We've had like 6 2Ks since then, but no new.
Well, now the new thing's going to be called monkeypox now. They're gearing people up for monkeypox.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that.
They're calling it mpox now, but and just think about it, right? M, the 13th letter.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. But I also want to touch on. I want to get your opinion on the recent NBA gambling bust because I know that's been a big topic. What do you guys think? We all know it's fake. We all know this is all a show. But what do you guys think about it? You guys think that this will kind of wake up people or?
Nope. It'll reinforce the idea and the concept that there are checks and balances within these organizations that are looking out for your best interests and like they said in day one, the integrity of the sport. I've followed Zach's work on it. And then as well, you have these fall guys. You have these like 3 people named here. Let me get your screen up if you need it.
Chauncey Billups. Yep. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and now Damon Jones. Yep.
Now here's the thing. Do you know that Rozier? Okay, so Chauncey Billups, he coached the Trailblazers. Who their stadium hasn't been like renovated or anything. It's just been renamed. It's formerly called the Rose Garden, and I grew up in Portland.
Right. Yeah.
And so Terry Rozier's. Do you know what Rozier means?
No.
The name Rozier means Rose Garden. Now,
wow.
If I were to ask you what was the largest, the second, or the previous to this one, what was the largest game rigging and betting scandal in sports, you'd probably think of Pete Rose. So, and then you're obviously talking about the Rosicrucians. It's the symbol of secret societies. To me, this is just a big joke. And what it's going to do, we've been talking about this in NASCAR because there's controversy on the sidelines. In order to implement sweeping changes, they need an excuse to do so. I could see this being a reason why, for all we know, we might be getting video AI referees within the next couple of years. I'm not even joking, because you're going to get a bunch of referees that are caught up in this scandal too, because obviously we understand the whole thing is rigged. Right. But they're going to scapegoat the referees because those are always easy to do because, they've been doing that for a long time. And
they've been doing that forever. Yeah.
I mean, how do people even watch football anymore? How many games are decided by a whistle rather than a play? It's insane.
Exactly. And pro sports are just embarrassingly rigged. They're just so embarrassingly rigged. Like it's hilarious how people don't see it every night people watch it. It's just like people don't see how rigged the game is. Like, it's insane, man. And then you try to point it out to how it's rigged, and they're like, oh, you conspiracy nut job. Like,
And it's like they don't realize that they truly don't have a vested interest. They're tricked
Yeah.
into believing they have a vested interest in these things. And you know what I think is rather funny. You know, you'll hear the argument sometimes. It's like, why aren't the teachers paid? Why aren't the doctors paid what these NFL people make? And you know why?
right.
It's because it's partially, I think it has to do with the people themselves. I'm sick of. I'm not sick of it, but I don't. I personally, I do not blame the conspirators completely. I understand that there's a system against the average person and the modern person. I understand that. But that
Right.
doesn't mean it needs to affect what you do. It doesn't mean to morally bankrupt you. That's what they're counting on you doing. So you're falling into their hands does not absolve you of the responsibility for, you know, falling into their hands, in my opinion. So well, I think rather than doctors demanding they're paid the salary of a NFL player, I think that they should, you know, show humility and stop. Obviously, they should be willing to take less money and make the average for them higher, but everybody take less money because, you know, it's definitely skewed. Obviously, it doesn't make sense that you have some guy who can run fast is the same, you know, he's getting 15 times more than a guy that, you know, saves kids' lives. But that's something that we need to fix. We are the ones holding that up. We are the ones okaying that behavior, and it's sick. And so we need to stop promoting and caring about sports. And
Right.
what we should demand is that our athletes be okay with getting 100, 200K. And that's it. And that's me being generous. 200K is insane.
I'd say less than 200K.
I
Yeah,
would say, I'm like I said, I'm being extremely generous in order to try to like at least be, you know, somewhat serious to people, because
right.
you have people that will sit at the water cooler and talk about the salaries of their favorite players. Like, what the
Right.
fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
You're not even
idolizing
talking
another
about the
grown
play.
man who doesn't
Yeah.
even know who they are. It's
Dude,
sad,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that we should demand that they get paid like, yeah, maybe tops 100K simply because revenue sharing, and then the rest of that should be public programming. That this should be a public benefit. We are paying into it. We are paying for concessions and all these other things. The top end of that profit should be going into the communities. And also, have you seen basketball?
Yeah.
Rich?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I think something like that should be
Yeah.
implemented, where all this like crazy trading can't happen. And how much more fun would it be if sports were regional? That you just
Right.
can't like dip into a pool and all of a sudden have insane talent that doesn't even represent the people that are, you know, around you. I think that it'd
Yeah.
be more interesting and it'd be more intriguing. And it's not like, you know, it makes the underdog truly an underdog rather than just,
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, and then you just look at the examples like the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, just that should be more proof. I mean, that should just be it right there. The Harlem Globetrotters.
I actually saw them when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Back before the Rose Garden. It was actually the I can't remember the name of the.
I mean, you could honestly, you can tell that was all just fake and scripted. I mean, just look at WWE. I mean, it's the same thing with the WWE too. It's just the same thing with it. But
yeah, they've been manipulating. And why wouldn't you? It's guys.
Right.
People need to just wake up. It's like
right.
Would you? Okay, this is something simple that you can talk to people when you meet them where they're at.
Right.
Even something as simple as like owning a business. Do you rig the business against you? Do you set it up to where you can be taken advantage of at every turn? Or do you set it up to where it's less likely for that to happen, and which entails you having some ulterior motive of control over your business? It only makes sense. In fact, I was talking to my kiddo about nepotism because, you know, obviously that's a huge thing in sports, especially in NASCAR, funnily enough. But I was telling him, I was like, nepotism, it's like a 50-50 for me. half of me says it's okay, honestly, because like if you do put in the hard work and stuff like building up your business and building up your whatever, your name and legacy, there obviously I'm talking about the like the honorable side of this, where your son is learning with you and coming up, or your daughter, your child is coming up learning with you, knowing how to take the reins when the reins are passed to her. And I'm not talking about a billionaire giving their corporation to their 18-year-old son who's never spent a day in the office, and he comes in and just is like, F you, you're done, this is changing. I disagree with that. And also the nepotism in sports. Imagine how many children and grandchildren with the last name are in sports right now, when there's a guy who could run circles and shoot way
born
better.
and bred.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
born
like
and
I
bred.
do agree partially with the nepotism aspect of the world, but yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Have you guys had the chance to watch the film Him?
No, not yet.
No, no.
I've watched it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's just like I mean, that right there was just literally trying to clue you in, trying to clue not you guys, but obviously everybody, trying to clue everybody into what's really going on in these leagues. And it's like, it's sad that you point that out, right? And you got these retards. Oh, that's just a movie, so you actually believe that's going on? It's like, yeah, retard, that is going on. Continue to prove my point every day of how that's going on. We just talked about it right now with the death of the 41-year-old football player, former football player. So it's like, how is this not going on? You know what I mean? But yeah, I've watched
interesting
it.
too. You mentioned sorry
Go
to
ahead.
cut it off, but you
That's fine.
mentioned the sacrifice of this guy.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl is played in San Fran, right?
Yep.
Obviously that's the gold rush. People associate that with the gold rush, and you got man gold. So I just
there you go. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man gold. Yep. And then did 49 days before Rex Ryan's birthday, 49ers. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. And that's a good catch by you. I mean, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man gold rush. Yeah. But I mean, that's just more mockery right there, right? I mean, that's what they do all the time, mocking you every day.
Gold rush equals 41. Funnily enough, just
hey, go figure. Yeah, go figure. Gold rush 41, Super Bowl 41. This man's dead in tribute to the Super Bowl. And again, it's just a mockery, man. Just last Sunday, it was the NFL paying tribute to Demaryius Thomas. Mm-hmm. It was a sick ritual. It was synced up with Super Bowl 33. And yeah, I mean, just all this stuff, man, is sick, man. And the fact that people can't see through it, it is even more sickening, because it's like, how can you not see through it? I mean, come on. The Broncos, they went over the Giants with 32 and 33 points, when Denver and Broncos equal 32 and New York equals 33. But yeah, I mean, just a joke. And again, the Jesuit sun rays, there's 32 rays over the Jesuit logo. 16 straight, 16 wavy, 32. Yeah, and again, Helios is 32, like Templars, like Christ. And the reason why I mention that is because, again, Demaryius Thomas was born on December 25th, Christmas Day, which is, according to Christianity, the birthday of Jesus Christ, which it's really not. It's all about the sun in the sky. And you think about it, the sun in the sky, the sun and offspring. Just think about that. I mean, just wordplay. And it's amazing how people don't catch on to this shit. I mean, just unreal. And again, he dies at age 33. They're paying tribute with 33 everywhere. And the point that I was making last week when I covered it, when YouTube decided to strike the video because they didn't like what I was saying, because they said it was hate speech. That's what they said. My live stream about the ritual with Demaryius Thomas, showing the ritual, they said that was hate speech. First it was copyright, now it's hate speech. So, and good luck trying to, yeah, and good luck trying to, appeal it, because that never does jack shit. Because I've done that, and had videos taken down, good videos that I've did presentations on these things, and yeah, again, they get taken down. Really good videos, all kinds of information in them, taken down. So yeah, again, YouTube's not here for truth; they're here for just pushing an agenda. So. Yeah, Mithraism.
Yeah, I just have exactly. A lot of people don't know about how far this goes back, and that everything is relabeled.
Right. By the way,
rebranded.
Mithra, I think it's Mithra. Mithra equals 93. So
Yeah.
go figure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mithra, Mithras. I think this was like the this is like the Greek translation or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it's all the sun, right? Think about it. It's all the sun. So Sol Invictus, that's Sol is Spanish for sun. So, you know, it's just amazing how people just don't see this shit, man. It's blatant mockery. It's what it is. But yeah, I mean, just same old shit. But by the way, last week with the Broncos thing, the Broncos and Giants game, it was 65 combined points, and Gematria Demarius Thomas equals 65. As is Christianity and, Knights Templar. And what do you think about the Templars? They're the original Jesuits before the Jesuits. But, yeah, again, just par for the course. Last week's 106 ritual was that. But, again, Peyton Manning was paying tribute, 18 plus 88, 106. I was pointing out he died 106 days before Peyton Manning's birthday. And the connection that I was making was that both of these men played in Super Bowl 50, which was hosted also in San Francisco. It was the Broncos versus the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Black 106.
When you think about it, right, you think about the word black sums to 106. So just think about it. Black Panther. I believe that's the one with Beyonce at the halftime show, right, as the Black Panther. And she got a lot of flack for it.
Yep.
So just think about the mockery, too. But just think about that. And then while that's going on, the day prior, you had the death of the Oakland football player based out of Oakland, California, not too far from where the Super Bowl is going to be held at. Doug Martin, who died literally in tribute to, and he played for the Broncos too, right? Not for the Denver Broncos, but he played for Boise State. And you think about it, Boise State Broncos, White Horse, yep. Denver Broncos is doing their ritual paying tribute. I mean, just same old stuff. I mean, just sick how they do it. But yeah, and again, Raiders equals 74, like Oakland, California equals 74. Doug Martin dies on the day, leaving 74 days left in the year. Lucifer 74, 1018. You think about Luke 1018, where the Satan comes down from the sky. Just think about it. I mean, just all this satanic shit, man. But yeah, it's hilarious when people don't get it, man. They don't catch on to the shit. And you point it out to them, and it was like, oh, so you think the NFL sacrificed one of their former players? It's like, come on, man. Yeah, and it's like they all have the same talking points. You guys ever notice that these retards always have the same talking points?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same talking points. No rebuttal. No kind of argument. I mean, where's their argument against it? I mean, where is their argument against it? I'll just tell you something. They don't have an argument. But yeah, I mean, we have all the proof right here in the world. So, yeah, it's pathetic, man. But yeah, then you got people on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter most of the time, and I just see all these retards going back and forth. The NBA's fixed. Oh my God! It's like, bro, it's been fixed. It's been fixed. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy too. You got, and we talk about it too with NASCAR all the time, but you see it with wrestling and everything right now, where like everyone's coming out bashing their sport. Like everyone in wrestling is like, oh, look, all these injuries right now, and wrestling sucks, and how the script writers are doing a terrible job, and the sport's going to shit, and the wrestling crap, and the NASCAR same thing. Drivers hate the system. They hate the cars. It's just they hate it all. It just sucks. We're everyone's talking about leaving, retiring. Like everyone's just bashing their own league, their own sport. Just and it's amazing how you still get these fans, these people that just keep coming back to it, just even though it's so it's just so bad. It's just so rigged. It's just so garbage. I mean, I remember the race last week. Me and Logan were talking about how did you watch that race? And like, how could you not be disappointed? Like, if you were a fan and watched that or went to that race, like, how were you not disappointed the way that race finished and how all that just played out? Like, how dumb all that looked, how retarded it all looked. Like, everything just looks so bad. Like, it just looks so pathetic. And it's just, and then, like I said, just to have, the own drivers coming out, bashing, hating the sport, wrestlers coming out, hating the sport, talking about how bad it is, how bad the script writers are, how the direction of stuff, how it's just, everything's just so garbage. Yet you still got people coming in, watching it, pushing it, promoting it, thinking it's all real. And then there's some people that, maybe some of them catch on and know it's fake and stupid anyways, but they're still going to pay money to watch it, go to it, promote it, push it. They're still going to get behind it. It's just unbelievable where people are. It's just amazing to me. Like, it's like nothing phases these people too. Like they're just so diehard into it, and nothing's ever going to change them. They're just so diehard. They're going to live and die on that hill, and you're never going to get them off there. That's how they're going to be. And it's amazing. It's just like you were saying with the money and stuff. Like you're looking up these athletes that get paid hundreds, millions. Some of them got billions of dollars. Well, how much money do you have? What does it do for you? Are they paying you? Like when I lived in like Wisconsin too, like like Wyoming, people, a lot of Broncos fans, Wyoming. Like here you got the Seahawks, and then it's Wisconsin, it's all about the Packers, and there, you got to pay like the tax for the team. It's the only team where it's like, you got to really pay for them. It's expensive because it's a small little town. You got to pay for this big, rich, fancy Packers, and everything around they're so expensive, and it drives to the price. It's like, what do the Packers do for you? How much money are they giving you? Are they giving you hundreds, thousands, millions of their dollars?
Are they putting money in your pocket? I mean, honestly, are they putting money in your pocket? Yeah, it's like it's really embarrassing. It's pathetic how people just worship these people, like people who don't even know them, like people that they're never ever gonna meet in their life, and they're just worshiping a bunch of grown men. It's just sad. It's like, is this grown man even doing anything for you in your real life? Is he paying your bills? Is he taking care of your children? Is he is he feeding your children? Is he providing? No, obviously not. Obviously not. So why worship these fucking cocksuckers? Let's be real. Why worship these cocksuckers and take advantage of the rigged system, man? I mean, that's what this purpose of this work is for. Not just for that, but I mean, to break out of the matrix, to understand that, this shit's all rigged. You know what I mean? It's just all rigged. All this shit's rigged. Sports games are rigged. All this shit's rigged. Your elections are rigged. Your elections are fake. What's that one Mark Twain quote? About voting. Again, if these people, the cabal does not want retards voting. If they really wanted you to vote, you wouldn't be allowed to do so.
If voting made any difference, they wouldn't let us do it.
Exactly. Yep. You wouldn't be allowed to go out and vote. If it made an actual difference, you wouldn't be able to do it at all. But again, you guys see how it doesn't do jack shit. Again, just keeps the same. And again, it doesn't even have anything to do with that. It's all this shit's predetermined years in advance.
It's a placebo. It makes people think that something's happening that's not. Just like this whole investigation into gambling and
exactly. And it's just like of course they got to get the black men in there and shame the black guys. It's like, again, they do this all the time. By the way, FBI equals NBA for that matter. It's not an accident. The FBI is investigating the NBA. But it's just like, again, just a joke.
Three-letter organizations investigating the other three-letter organization. And you got to think about it too. This is all opening up the conversation. This is going to open up the conversation for the WNBA, whose season's just wrapping up too. So they're going to be able to say, wow, we're not getting paid and these guys are cheating.
So just to throw this in there, just to interject, the WNBA is completely fixed as well. Let's just not forget that. Anybody out there, again, the WNBA is fixed as well. Shout out to Kayla Decode Talker. She's doing great work over there with the WNBA, continuing to prove that it's rigged and scripted. So, I mean, just again, WNBA is completely rigged and scripted. It's synced up in tune with the NBA, so again, no different. You're gonna have retards be like, why would they script a game nobody really watches? It's like, if you can bet on it, it's scripted, okay? It's like, if you can bet money on it, it is scripted.
I bet there's more gamblers on the WNBA than viewers. That's
exactly.
all the more reason to have that league exist. It's not less of a reason. It's more of a reason.
Exactly. I mean, why not? If you can make some money off the rig, right? Why not, right? So, I mean, just got people there. Oh, because you already know that somebody's just going to say that. Like, if you point that out to somebody, they'll just be like, their program response will be like, oh, why do you think they're going to rig a WNBA game? Nobody even watches it, bruh. So, Yeah, and then the same retards end their sentences with bruh, bruh. It's like they all talk the same too, bruh.
Yeah, vernacular is definitely a sign of, they control, or they force their initiatives through speech,
Yeah,
through it's all forms of mind control. It's ways of it's getting people to do their job for them, because you convince a top percentage of people to do something, and you'll have the lower percentage of people um, follow suit.
yeah,
And yeah, it's
yeah. Just following trends. That's
yep.
what people do. They follow trends. They don't have their own mind. Especially this younger generation. I'm 23 years old, and I see it with my own eyes. Just like how people just follow along. They just go along with the herd. They don't. Well, I mean, there's some people in my age demographic that do ask questions, but it's not very much. Most of them just go along. Uh, just people talking about this 6'7" meme. And just like you try to explain that to them, it's like, what is it going to do with anything? It's like, yeah, you're going around spewing it, saying it. You don't even know what it means. But you got people saying that. It's annoying. That's a whole nother topic too. But it's just like that. That's annoying too. Ooh, the 6'7" meme. Oh my god! Like, who cares? More Kabbalistic crap. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, I think a lot of this has to do with lowering the standard of what is funny too.
Yeah.
Because they
Because how is that even funny? How is that? I don't get how that's funny.
bro.
It's not funny.
It's not even ironically funny. Like irony's gone, like
Right.
comedy is gone.
Punchlines are gone.
And I hate to say like
gone.
come at it with like a back in my day approach, but because it's not like that stuff. It's not like I'm so old that I'm talking about a day and age that wasn't being, manipulated by the powers that be. But at the same time, the dawn of the internet culture, it was just a lot different. Things were being fleshed out instead of, nowadays things don't even take time to flesh out anymore. It's just you have somebody say 6'7" or Hawk Tua, and that's it. You just you're set for the next few months. You're set. I mean, how many people just say bet after every word? Like, hey man, hey, how you doing? Bet. It's like, what? Bet? What are you talking about? Bet?
Yeah, it's just like people say bruh. They understand come on, bruh. What do you mean, bruh?
Bet.
You know it's a classic one when Zach called out that fucking loser and he was like, guy was like, what did he say? He's like, you want us to believe some numbers, bro?
And then he just hit him with the mocking.
You already sound fucking retarded.
One guy that was on there just the other day when I was catching up, Logan was on the stream, and there was another guy that came on and he was wearing the Trump shirt. And he said he was a Trump. And it's the fucking 666 at the fucking end. I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah,
he said reasonable stuff. Exactly, but that's like a sophisticated troll. They give you both versions so that people will be okay with him because he's not trolling like the
Aaron Fleming, the gas station boy.
Exactly.
I mean, and I hate to throw that out there, but that gas station troll's out there trolling right now. I guarantee he's in his car right now. Oh, you snitch! And here, you know what? And what's funny about that? It's like he calls me a snitch, but he's the one that called the authorities on me. He called the authorities to my house. They showed up to my house.
He brags about it.
Yeah, and he's just like, come on, dude. Like, you want to call me a rat, but you're over there telling on me, getting the authorities to come to my house. It's like, come on. But yeah, that dude with the Trump shirt. I mean, that dude was a troll. You could tell. It's like, how are you going to be asking all this and be watching a Gematria channel exposing Trump and with a Trump shirt on? It's like, I mean, that dude's obviously a troll. And he was talking about a bunch. I'm sorry, but he was talking about a bunch of nothing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's one thing to like start your own channel. It's like, dude, come onto this channel. Like seriously, this is a formal, come onto this channel. Let's talk about this esoteric like past. And I have a crazy birth of knowledge about like a bunch of different areas. But when I'm on Zach's channel, I'm not talking about lizards and shit.
Yeah,
it's like,
I don't even know what he was talking about, but he just started like some David Icke type of stuff. It's like, by the way, that's another agent. A lot of people watch David Icke and they think he's some kind of truth teller, but
David Icke.
Yep. Or Candace Owens. It's just. I heard somebody say it the other day when they called into Zach's show. It's just like people are like, man, who's looking up to Candace Owens or Owen Benjamin or any of these people for any kind of truth? Ben Shapiro. I mean, come on.
I mean, you just said
Steven
Candace
Crowder.
Owens, Owen Benjamin, Ben Shapiro. It's just like, did you
Yeah.
even notice that? Owen, Ben,
Yeah.
Netanyahu. It's like how they do this a lot, the repetitiveness on stage, because it needs to stick into the first little tiny portion of your brain in order to work its way into the subconscious. It's just like, that's why you forget dreams, is because you haven't committed it to that subconscious memory. Whereas you take in things with your eyes open and your brain functioning way more subconsciously. So it's that repetitiveness, that definitely,
and that's
plays
how they
into
program
it.
people too. I mean, just to interject, that's how they program people with their repetitive shit. It's like, it's funny because
Tantra.
Yeah, the media will put. It's funny how people like, they don't catch on. It's like the media put 33 in their face like all the time. If you're paying attention, they put that number 33 all over your face, like all. You'd just be surprised how many times they put that number all over shit. Just 33 here, 33 there. Another number they also put in the news stories is 47. I've caught on to that too. News is 47.
And the list goes
Just
on.
think about it. But yeah, it's a long list. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, they always have to insert
what I
the
wanted
numbers,
to
33 and 74. 47.
Rich, is what do you think about the news? Give a quick explanation, because I don't know if anyone's posed this question to you. You know how we do get numbers that eventually change? I was watching Zach's stream this morning, and he mentioned how a prior post, like it highlighted 217, but then it eventually changed. Who's asking for minute by minute updates on the numbers? Who needs that? Has anyone ever thought about that? It's like, we want to know who's doing it. Where are the people? We want updates on actual things, not just arbitrary numbers. So what do you think about that? How they just keep updating the numbers? Who's that for? The common person listening to the story, or who's that for? Explain.
I think that's all part of the sick joke, the Kabbalah piece. That's all what it's for. It's just like every time they have to a mass shooting, it's 4 dead, 4 shots. It's like, come on, man, really? 4? You have to insert the number 4 into every story. 4 shot, 4 killed. Again, it's just like, it's all Kabbalah. It's all this shit is. It's Kabbalah, and people can't grasp that concept of, well, what do you mean? It's like, again, Kabbalah. Again, it talks about there's a good half and there's a dark half of Kabbalah, and the people that rule over us use the dark half, obviously. That's why they have these propaganda stories. That's why you're hearing about, I don't know if you caught this story, but look at this story. I mean, just unnecessary detail. 1 dead, 6 injured in shooting during homecoming at Lincoln University. And again, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, he was the 16th president. It's like, come on, man. Like, who even needs these details? 1 dead, 6 injured? Who cares if it's 1 dead and 6 injured? But again, we all know who it's important to, the Jesuit cabal. And think about who the Jesuits are. They're a military order. They serve the Catholic Church. And again, these are the same Jesuits that Abraham Lincoln blamed the American Civil War. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like Lincoln was some kind of good guy. I mean, the guy was an agent, total agent. I mean,
yeah, but do your due diligence with history, and you'll find that there's nothing to be. Why are the Jesuits allowed to have their colleges in this country?
Exactly.
Why aren't they being? Why isn't Black Lives Matter out at every Jesuit university?
Gonzaga, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Seattle U.
They don't, because they're controlled bullshit. If they were real, then you'd have somebody with some knowledge and some understanding to realize that early on in this country, that behind every major plantation and every major slave movement, there were Jesuit priests involved.
No, Black Lives Matter is another one of those things. I mean, you can prove that all the time, how it's just a Jesuit operation, even without the gematria. I mean, look at not even just the Jesuits, it's the Masons as well. I mean, like, I'm going to say this, all these secret societies got to go, because it's just like, again, if we keep having these like secret society types, this shit is going to continue to go on. And people be like, oh, well, you say secret societies, they're not secret. I know about the Masons. It's like, yeah, but you don't know everything about what they do. They're not going to tell you everything that they do. It's like the Jesuits. The Jesuits are not going to come out here and say, yeah, we ritualistically murder black people. They're not going to do that. So it's just insane how people have these talking points
Like,
too.
can
Say
we
that
look up
same
the
shit.
Masonic, your local chapter's Masonic lodge? Can you look up their tax records? Can you see everything they put money into?
Right.
No, your government can with you though. That's like public
Exactly.
knowledge. If you get in any kind of trouble, all
Right.
that stuff is on the table. Meanwhile,
Right.
you have secret societies that are,
Yeah.
involved in insane shit, and it's just like the other problem with it is it breeds a certain type of person. It's like I don't want a, a firefighter that is moving up the ranks in masonry
Exactly.
that is learning that the average human being is chaff and garbage. They're
Yeah.
not going to put their effort into saving my ass, bro. They're going to
Exactly.
let my ass burn.
They might even sacrifice you in some kind of Masonic ritual. I mean, and it does go on. I mean, you know what? It's not just worldwide events. There's local things I've covered that it looks like a complete Masonic operation. Case in point, there was a officer in my area. I suppose he ended up dying. It was a national news story. I suppose he got shot. He got killed on January 31st. That day could be written 1/31. He gets killed on Pine Street. Can you take a guess at what Pine Street in gematria equals?
Probably
131.
131. And it's like, come on, man. He gets killed on Pine Street on January 31st, 131. And just the numbers of it, too. It's just like they said a 26-year-old shot somebody or shot him in the 2600 block. It's like, come on, man. It's like, how do people not see this shit? It's like a 26-year-old shoots somebody in the 2600 block on January 31st when the name of the street equals 131. It's like, and I'm pointing that out to people. And then the cocksucker, and again, the reason why I call him that, because I had an interaction with this guy, and the guy wasn't very a nice person. He was much of a dickhead, let's just be honest. But, and who even knows if he's even dead, right? I mean, it could just be all bullshit. It could just be another Masonic ritual. It could be another Hiram Abiff ritual. You never know. You never know, because these are secret societies. They keep secrets. You don't know about that.
The Pine Street, as in like ST, as you would write it on like an address form, equals murder in 3 out of 4 ciphers too.
Well, there you go. I didn't even look at that piece, but yeah, again, yeah. And when you write out, like, because the media had to emphasize, they're like Pine Street, fully spelled out. I'm like, so I'm like, come on, let me see this. And I look it up. It's like 131. I'm like, come on, man, the guy's dead on 131. But I mean, that should be proof right there to just show that they're doing these rituals. And again, I know the person that supposedly, I know their family member that supposedly the guy's blamed for it. He was supposedly part of some kind of gang operation or gang war or whatever. So it's not hard to see if they have their little chosen agents. I wouldn't be surprised if the feds chose this dude to go do this ritual. I wouldn't be surprised. So,
well, yeah, you mentioned, this is on the back of talking about masonry too. It's like, it's 2-cipher match. Pine Street has a 2-cipher match to Freemasonry as well, 58, 139.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, the guy's born.
And the cop.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? He's born on modern Freemasonry's birthday. He's born on June 24th. He died 144 days from his birthday. It's like Jesuit order equals 144. It's like, come on, man. Here, I'll share the police story. I don't mind sharing it, but yeah. Encourage anybody. And I know Zach watches, so hey, Zach, if you're out there and you see this.
Shout out to Zach.
Yeah. Hey, but where is it at? Here it is. It was this story right here. I'm like, come on, man. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let's see. Here it is. The community is continuing to show an overwhelming outpour for the support of fallen Selma police officer Gonzalo Carrasco Jr. He was shot and killed on January 31st. Well, he was protecting the community he had served for 2 years. By the way, 2 equals 58, like Freemasonry. But like Pine Street equals 58. But yeah, if you look up his birthday,
fraternal equals 58, and he's a member
fraternal
of the fraternal order.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at his birthday, see if I can find his birthday. Here it is. Look at this shit, man. Here, I'm just gonna pull it up and show people just how by the numbers this shit was. But what the hell? Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell's going on here with this. Okay, well, it's been a sign up. Okay, here I mean, just look at this. I mean, I just and again, he was again 24-year-old. He's born on the 24th of June. Come on, the sun equals 24. But yeah, again, and I didn't even run his name gematria, but yeah, 2600 block of Pine Street, and it's like, okay, that's on January 31st. But yeah, it's to show people in gematria. Again, Pine Street equals 131. That's the 32nd prime. Scottish is 32, like America. Like there's 32 rays on the sun, on the Jesuit Orders logo, and yeah, the name equals 130, or the name of the street equals 139 and 58, like Freemasonry. It's also 50, like America, but yeah, again, just all this shit's by the numbers, man. But oh yeah, and they said the supposed guy who killed him, his name was Dixon, for the dick jokes. His name was Nathaniel Dixon, Dixon. So yeah, I can't find his birthday on here, but yeah, if you look it up, if you look more into it, it's June 24th. So yeah, that was by the numbers. I'm like, come on, man, that was an obvious Jesuit ritual. And it's funny because I remember that. I remember that when that happened. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. I need to go out there because I don't live too far from it. So I'm like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna educate people about what really happened that day. And again, I went out there, the same street corner I usually go out there at, and he had retards. Shut up! That sounds stupid, man. A man just died right now. You need to stop with your nonsense, all conspiracy theory crap. It's like, okay, retard, do you not understand what I'm trying to tell you? Literally, all this shit you can look up. You know, I have people coming out there. No, you sound like you're mentally ill. It's like, come on.
Reading scripts. There's nothing else I can say.
It's like, man, it's like you can't. These people sound like my trolls. They sound like my trolls in real life. But yeah, again, Officer Carrasco, again, dead on January 31st. Literally, the name of the street equals 131. I mean, just that right there. I mean, that alone should just prove that, yeah, that's a ritual right there. And a 26-year-old kills him in the 2600 block. I mean, give me a break. The word God equals 26. I mean, the word Mason's also 26. So, yeah, I mean, just again, all this shit's just like, it's not. Again, I just proved how it's not worldwide. It's, you know, it's in your backyard too. I mean, I'm pretty sure if anybody out there, you know, if you look up any news story or something like that, you can find, you know, the same shit what I found, maybe similar. So yeah, and again, the guy's born on. It made me laugh because I'm like, come on, he's born on June 24th, Freemasonry's birthday. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it reminds me too. It's like you said, it on your own backyard. It's like right there. It's like
yeah.
Well, I seen something too this week. I think I was looking at something. I just thought it was just you know, just how much of a joke this world truly is. Like, I'm pretty sure I've told Logan this story. I don't know if King Richard knows about it. But do you remember Taylor Coronado, Taylor Ship Business? Did you hear that story 3 years ago when she killed that guy and cut him up and stuff? I used to go to school with her, high school.
I might have heard about it. I'm not too sure, but maybe
we did cover this on the channel, Austin. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, Bayport High School equaling 201 and everything, and then I think that was like, it was like 2/21 of 2022 when she did that or whatever. Yeah. But apparently there's like still like, you know, it's just turning like to such a soap opera, because I think this week or whatever there was like, she's like still bringing her into court for like other stuff, like she attacked her lawyers like multiple times in court and stuff, and or attorneys or whatever, and like they had her like wheeled in on a dolly and stuff. I'm like, this shit's just such a joke. I mean, Coronado to Ship Business, Bayport High School 201. You just look at these stories and
yeah.
How she killed Chad Therian and cuts him up and all this stuff. I mean, this stuff is sick, but it's played out to be a joke. I mean, it's just this stuff runs deep, and it's everywhere. I mean, there's tons of stories and stuff like this. I mean, this turned out to be a national news story, of course, and it was something my buddy brought up to me when I was in Wyoming. He's like, "Do you remember Taylor Coronado?" And he sends me this, and I'm like, "Oh wow, this shit." I was showing everybody this stuff, but they turn stuff into like this, and they make it out to be, a joke and stuff. That's why she's still popping up in the courtroom, and they're these heinous acts and this joke. I mean, Coronado Shabusiness, call herself Shabusiness, and she's was obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Called herself that? Wait, she called herself Shabusiness?
Yeah, she changed her name to Shabusiness. That was apparently
that's mockery right there.
Hey, mind your business.
She's obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer I love Jeffrey Dahmer. I can't get enough of Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm gonna live down Wisconsin's biggest legend. I'm gonna be the new Jeffrey Dahmer, and she literally does it. And I mean, the whole story of like what all the things she was saying and what she did and all this stuff, and then like you just look at how like these people are made, and then like you just look at what happens. They lock her up, they put her away, but somebody like this, it's like. She's still around. The joke is still going on. Like I'm like, there's still court. I'm like, did they lock her away and throw away the key? Why is she coming back in the court? Why are we making this joke? Why is she strapped to a dolly? Like this shit is just such a clown world. You got to think too. Like we're paying for this shit. We're paying for the court. I mean, we're paying for the joke. If this person Shabusiness Coronado really did this, she should be locked away, dealt with, done away with, shot in the head, get her out of here. She's a sick motherfucker. But no, let's just keep bringing her back and showing her and make this joke and drag it out and make the people pay for this and taxpayer money. And this is what the world is truly about. This is what it is. I mean, everything is just a sick joke, a sick ritual, and it just gets more of a joke and more sick as time goes on. And I mean, stories like this, like I said, I mean, there's things like this that happen all over all the time. And this is just one of the, most blatant, one of them. I mean, you look at, like I said, I know the person she supposedly killed, the Shad Syrian guy, and murdered him and cut him up and did all this stuff. And like, she literally wanted to be a Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like, okay, now we're going to put that out there though. Like this story wasn't just, her wanting to do this stuff. We're going to exploit it. We're going to make the joke a bigger joke than it already is.
Well, you know what? If you think about it, it might even be synced with Jeffrey Dahmer, right?
Good point.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? To interject, I mean, the guy's name. Look at his name. 101 to 26 prime. I mean, I didn't even see that, but yeah, that's when I was
his name in, and I didn't even think about the prime.
Yeah, I mean, 101 26 prime dies on the 2600 block from a 26-year-old. I mean.
There you go.
Oh, and the word pine is also 26, right? Whoops. The word pine. Look at that. 26.
Also, did it say where he was shot?
Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. This is where I suppose he was born there, but that's not
because he's an officer. He has a bulletproof vest on. That means he got shot in probably the head or something.
There it is, right there. But I know. Selma, California, literally equals 138, like federal. So. Let me just show you guys. Well, it equals. See how it's 31 again. Down.
Oh no, Rich. I'm saying, did it say where he was shot? Like, how did he die?
Oh, suppose he got shot.
In the head?
I don't know, honestly. You know what? Here, let's just go down here. While on patrol, Officer Carrasco was stopped by a homeowner who said a man was on her property. When Officer Carrasco investigated, the subjects fired several shots. So I don't know if it says where he died at, or not where he died at, but
whatchamacallit report, autopsy.
I'm not too sure on that. I never looked into that, but
because just pine is esoterically understood to represent the pineal gland, and
right.
So I was just I don't know. I was just going off on a different way of like when I hear pine, it's usually not arbitrary because
that's funny. That's funny that you mentioned that because they never really mentioned how he got. They said he got shot,
he'd be wearing
a
bulletproof vest. So
right, exactly. So it's like. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of. I suppose they said this guy had a pistol and was shooting it around. So it's like I don't know. Again, I don't know how he was shot, but I would assume the head. But I mean, they never. Like, if you read the reporting on it, they never say it. So, but yeah, I mean, he's born on modern Freemasonry's birthday and dies 221 days after his birthday. Bavarian Illuminati 221. Just, I mean, this is just doing this Masonic pose right here. Just a joke, man. Just I hate how this is just like you try to show this to people and they just be like, oh Oh, so you're saying that this man was sacrificed? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say, bro? Is that what you're trying to say, bro? Saying this man was sacrificed, bro? Like, yeah, I'm showing you how he was sacrificed, literally by the Freemason cabal or Jesuit cabal. So
That was like our episode 4 we did, where I showed how my cousin's death, where I talked about both of my cousins, Brandon and the other one, Tyler, how their deaths were
my
synced.
uncle
I mean,
died in a
literally,
ritual
Tyler's was
too.
synced with the channel, the 4 number of death. And then there
Yeah.
it was, that with the UTTV and all the crap that went with it. I mean,
UTV.
you can't tell me. And all the numbers were there. I went through both their deaths. I mean, look at what it said with Brandon. They were hiding it behind a paywall. They wouldn't let you see it. And it said he
Right.
was taken from us. Well, I thought you said he stole his mom's car and crashed into a tree and killed himself. You're saying he
again,
was
a story that
taken
makes
from us.
a
Taken.
story that makes zero sense, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
shit doesn't even make any sense. Like, you know what? Since you bring up that, I want to talk about the death of my uncle. My uncle, if you guys don't know, he was a part of the Knights of Columbus. And I'll never forget it. I did ask him one time before he passed away. I'm like, what do you guys do, the Knights of Columbus? Like, what do you guys, what is that, a secret order? What is that? Because I was already knowing about the Jesuits and Masonry. He's like, Rich, I can't tell you anything about that. It's all secret. So, yeah, it just lets me know. But just look at the day he died, on September 27, 2022. And again, that's the Jesuit order. That's the recognition date right there. And I always found it just weird because he's born on Kobe's birthday. He's born on August 23rd. That's the 235th day of the year. Of course, the Society of Jesus is 235, and he goes on to die on the Jesuit order recognition date, which is the day leaving 95 days after year. But it's kind of weird because I found gematria through Kobe Bryant. So, but he died 35 days after his birthday, which I don't think that's an accident. Again, gematria Catholic is 35. He was a Catholic. In order to be a part of the Knights of Columbus, you have to be Catholic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I did some research, and yeah, you have to be a Catholic in order to be a part of the Knights of Columbus. But don't forget, my uncle was a military man. He served in the military, but no doubt about it, I wouldn't be surprised if the hospital was in on his death, because his death literally makes no sense. Supposedly he was recovering, doing fine, and he just dies. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Let's not start on the hospitals and the underground facilities that are underneath every major hospital and the networks that patrol underneath hospitals. And but I wanted to point something out, just food for thought. You mentioned that you had to be a Catholic to be in the Knights of Columbus. Now, this isn't to make sure that it's not to say that the Knights of Columbus are all attending mass together,
right?
But think of it in this way: the same way that the Masonic Lodge, they do require you to be open to religion.
Right.
That is one of the
you
requirements.
Have to believe in, you have to believe
Think
in
about
God,
that,
right?
guys. If you want to open up the pool for as many people to pick from, as many people as possible that all are okay with being indoctrinated, you demand them to go for religion. And that, so you're sitting there saying you have to be a Catholic. That means that they had to actually put work into being a Catholic. I'm sure you had to memorize, some scriptures, understand.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
But then I bet it's arbitrary once you're in the Knights of Columbus. You just need to have that mindset. The mindset's more important than the actual knowledge of the religion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you mean. But yeah, I mean, I don't. And again, my uncle wasn't very. I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The guy was a drunk. I'm not even gonna sit here and get into that. But yeah, the guy was a drunk. I mean,
it's easy to manipulate and set up people who abuse.
Exactly. Yeah, he was a lifelong. All he did was drink all day, and I mean that's the kind of man he was. So, but what's funny, right? It's interesting that my dad's born on he recently passed away, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
But again, his birthday is February 13th. He's born in 68, so that's the day leaving 322 days in the leap year. It's funny because again, Skull and Bones 322. If you look into the Knights of Columbus, there's a lot of overlap between them and Skull and Bones. A lot of it. If you just look at it, a lot of overlap between they are headquartered in was it New Haven, Connecticut, not too far from where Skull and Bones operates out of. So And again, that's another order, right? But he died at age 49. My uncle died at age 49. But he died 227 days after my dad's birthday, which is the 49th prime number. So, again, it could be a coincidence, but just knowing how these people operate and how these orders are, and again, they're very secret, I wouldn't be surprised if they had some information on him and been like, you know what, we're going to pull the plug on him 227 days after his brother's birthday. We're going to do that because it's the 49th prime, and he's 49. Let's take him out. So, and then he dies on the Jesuit order's birthday. I mean, just that right there, when I seen that, I'm like, okay, that's not an accident. And then I'm like, he's a part of the Knights of Columbus. They're a Catholic order. So, and he died 35 days after his birthday and 46 days after the Knights of Columbus founder, Michael J. McGivney. Again, Catholic is 35 and 46. Look at the gematria of Michael McGivney, 149, 35th prime number. I did an old post on the Knights of Columbus. This is before he even died. I did a post on the Supreme Knight, James T. Mullen. You know? And he became a Supreme Knight on February 2nd. That's the 33rd day of the year, and he concluded his time in that position on May 17th, I should say, which is the 137th day of the year, which is the 33rd prime. So, yeah, there's a lot of, like I was mentioning, there's a lot of overlap between Masonry and Skull and Bones. Notice in gematria, James T. Mullins, 179. That's the 41st prime. Skull and Bones is 41 and 76. You know, George W. Bush born on 7/6, and notice he died on July 6, 7/6. So, yeah,
I want to read you this like really quickly about the Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Columbus is the world's largest Catholic fraternal or a service organization, founded in 1882 by Father Michael J. McGivney, like you said, in New Haven, Connecticut. It is dedicated to the principles of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism, with membership restricted to Catholic men, listen to this, who are in good standing with the church. That establishes that they are in leagues with the clergy.
Right, with the Pope.
I mean, yeah, well, and the local chapters of the Catholic Church.
Of the Catholic Church,
They're in it with the bishops and everything too. That means it's a recruitment tactic.
Yeah.
Guys, this is sick.
Exactly. It's a recruit. And again, you know, hey, my uncle had the numbers. I mean, look at this. I mean, name literally equals 78, like Jesuit, like does on the Jesuit birthday, and then you guys on 78 date numerology. I mean, again, you can't tell me that they're not recruiting these people. And I wouldn't be surprised if they recruited him and said, hey, you want to join I mean, he was a military man. Think about it, right? You're a military guy. Hey, you just came out of the military. Hey, you want to be part of this order here? I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
Was your uncle married?
Yeah, he was. He was married.
Are they still involved in your aunt's life?
No, they're not. They got divorced.
Because it says they're. Oh, okay.
They got divorced.
That's probably what cut her off. I wonder if you could ever talk to her and ask her if the Knights of Columbus reached out to her, because it says their primary purpose is to provide financial aid to Catholic families and widows.
You know what's crazy about
that?
You know what's wild about that is they never, from what I know, because again, it all could be a lie, it could be just lying, but from what I know, nobody's reached out. Actually, after he passed away, everything went to shit. Actually, nobody helped out. They lost their house. Just everything went to complete utter shambles. I mean, it was not. They weren't living a good life. Let's just say that. And from what I heard, and now they're living. Let's be honest, they're not doing that well. I don't mean to put my business out there, but they're not really doing that well. So, and she has 2 kids. So. But, I don't know if they ever reached out. They ever said anything, hey, we can help you out with your husband's death. He was a part of our secret society, if you will. But
really what their mission says that they're on this, their purpose of doing is there's that chapter of the Catholic Church that helps this specific area.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that they
it makes a lot of widows before it helps them.
Yeah, and you know what? And what's funny about that, we talk about that, is these hospitals, right? These hospitals, the hospital that he was at, can't remember the name of it, but the hospital he was at, they're funded by a Catholic. They're funded by a Catholic. So it's like
St. Blank's Hospital.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, huh. So you just think about all this stuff, and you think about, okay, A Catholic donates to it. And you know what's funny? The Knights of Columbus, I think the Knights of Columbus also are donors of that hospital he was at, that he supposedly died at. And I'm like, huh. So the donors are literally Knights of Columbus, who are a Catholic order. And again, this man was a part of that. So, again, there's a lot of fishy stuff. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of questions to be asked. But I never shared this. Like, I never shared this with my dad because this was his brother. I didn't share it to him. But I wish I would have shared it to him now, looking back at it. But, yeah, I mean, just I wouldn't be surprised if this is what happened, you know. And, you know, my dad was actually close to this. This is his other brother, so he was really close to him growing up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had to know. Because for people who don't know, right, my dad actually played football with Josh Allen's grandfather and his dad. And I actually know Josh Allen's family. I grew up with a lot of them. I grew up with a lot of his family members. I know who a lot of them are. Patricia, his grandmother who died, I knew who she was. I knew exactly who she was. R.I.P. to her. They killed her off in a sick ritual. But I think it was on November 7th, and Buffalo Bills equal 117. One of those things equal 117. But yeah, they killed her off in a sick ritual. But yeah, Patricia, R.I.P. I know who she is. But
which is weird because Patricia's like the female version of Patrick, and you know he goes against Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, yeah. So yeah, I know all of Josh Allen's family members, and I'm gonna be honest. I have a little bit of an inside knowledge of what they're about. His family's a very racist. They're very racist. They don't really like Hispanics. You know what I mean? Just they're not really. They're really racist. So, but they also come from money. You got to realize that these people, the Allens, his family, they come from money. And my dad should have been the athlete that he went on to be, but I don't know. You know what? Thinking about it now, I don't think it's an accident because my dad has the numbers. Because my dad was actually supposed to be playing for the Oregon Ducks, and as you know, Oregon, that's the 33rd state in order of statehood, right? In gematria, my dad's name sums to 137, which is the 33rd prime. When you run it the other way, it's 74. Oregon has that gematria 74. Yep. When you write out OR, it's 33. So I don't think that's an accident. I don't know. It could be. Not one of these people that try to be like, oh, my God, the cabal, I'm not saying that, but it's just like, I don't think it's an accident either. And he was supposed to be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he did go on to get recruited to the play with the Ducks. Yeah, he was going to be playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I believe either Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh Steelers equals 81. In his high school career, he wore the number 81. So I don't know if that could be an accident, but just knowing how the Jesuits operate, and again, the Jesuit Rooney family run there's been so many rituals with the Rooney family and over the past couple of years, but I wouldn't be surprised if, they were scouting my dad and saying, hey, he has the right numbers. Let's recruit him.
Looks like Josh Allen's got himself potentially quite the handler too, with his wife. Got himself a little Jewish wife.
Yep, she's
Haley
Jewish.
Steinfeld.
And he's from it's funny, he's from Fireball, right? He's from Fireball, California. I know Fireball at the back of my hand. Literally, if you go to Fireball, if you ever go there, if anybody ever is from the Central Valley and goes there, it literally goes to California 33. It literally goes to California 33, CA 33. And again, Josh Allen has birth numerology at 33. When you write out Josh Allen, it equals 33. But that's why I don't think it's an accident. They farmed him, and he wears number 17. Mason 17. Mason Reese 33. Follow. But
what's interesting, the motto of the Knights of Columbus, in service to one and service to all, equals 139.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah, and Freemasonry, right? But the Bavarian Illuminati, right? 139. But that's also the 34th prime. But yeah, I mean, just all this stuff, man. And I didn't even know that. Good catch on the motto. I didn't even look up their motto, but yeah, I mean, just more proof, right? But yeah, I mean, just again, I know the Allens, and again, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to pick and choose which athlete, I'm not just saying that because he's my dad or whatever, but if I had to pick an athlete, it'd be my father, because that dude was strong. That dude could really, what I'm saying, he could really fuck you up. But yeah, I mean, my dad had the athletic ability, but his life just went a whole other way. He didn't pursue that. He ended up doing a whole other thing, and it's just hard to say what he would be able to do, like what he would be doing, because again, he's no longer here. But it's just like, who knows what would have happened, right? If he did actually make it pro, who knows? Would it be me in the obituary? I mean, you got to think about these things too, because I'm the closest one to him. Like I'm the closest one to my father. So let's just say, I did end up, becoming a part of my dad. My dad ended up being in the NFL or whatever. Who's to say I didn't, I don't suffer the consequences for his fame on the world stage. You just never know. You could be hearing an obituary about me. Oh yeah, found dead in the bathroom, or found dead in the shower. It's like, you know what I mean? So you just never know. But, and again, that's the price people pay for that. I mean, Demarius Thomas, another death that doesn't make any sense. He was found dead in the shower. Suppose he had a stroke in the shower and died. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, who's to say if my dad didn't go pro? I ended up growing up a little bit. And not to say anything, but it's like, who's to say if the NFL would say, hey, yeah, his time is up. Time to kill him on this day. Sync it up with little daddy. And yeah, I mean, it's sick, man. It's sick how they do this shit. So in a way, in hindsight, I'm kind of glad my dad didn't go pro, because and I thought it was weird too, because I'm like, you're supposed to go with the Oregon Ducks, and it's the 33rd state in order to statehood, and your name equals 137, which is a 33rd prime, and you're born on the day leaving 322 days left in the year, and you know what I mean, just all this stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, it almost, to get a little bit new agey, that could be why you are who you are. It's like,
yeah,
think of it that way. Think of, like, you're already kind of alluding to it, but the Richard that grows up with the father in the NFL is not going to be the Richard I'm talking to today. So
exactly. Who's to say if I would have, even. Who's to say I would have found this knowledge, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who I'm pretty
maybe
sure
you'd be a dissenter. Maybe you'd be like, fuck you, Logan. This shit's bullshit.
You know what? What's funny about that is I was actually supposed to go, not pro, but I was supposed to play with the Fresno State Bulldogs. I had recruiters watching me because I also wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps for a long time. And I started playing football. And but I was at the age, I was 13 years old. This is around the time that I woke up to the cabal and all this type of stuff. But that time I was playing football, I had recruiters actually watching me. I had recruiters saying, hey, we want him to play on our football team. We want to get him as a full scholarship to go to Fresno State and play football for the Bulldogs. Now, I could have did that. I could have went pro. I could have did all that. I could have had NFL recruiting. People were watching me, scouts. But, at that time I was getting in trouble, and at that time I wanted to be a teenager, so I was like, I don't care about sports. I'm going to go out there and get in trouble. So I started getting in trouble, you know what I mean? So, in hindsight, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that, because I could have been a pro right now, but it's just like, is it worth it? My life would be probably totally different. I probably wouldn't have met the girl that I'm with right now, or I'd probably be in some kind of arranged marriage, like a lot of these athletes are. They're part of these arranged marriages, so... Yeah, I mean, you just never know.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, and you know what's fucked up about Josh Allen is, again, I'm from where he's from, grew up there, born and raised, and it's a little, agricultural small town, little farm town, right? It's in the middle of nowhere, right? But, I see all these people, right? Whenever I go to Fireball, whenever I go down there, I just see all these people just cheering this dude out. Yeah, Josh Allen, yeah, man, cheering him on. It's like, okay, you're cheering on a guy who doesn't do jack shit for your town. Your town's still fucked up. There's crime that still goes on. You got, bums, homeless people out here. This dude's not even making an effort to come out here and at least change the city or at least do something for the kids. None of that. But, oh, my God, Josh Allen, I got his jersey, yeah. It's like, dude. It's like he's not doing shit for your town. So, and you know what? He probably doesn't even give a shit about Fireball. Let's just be honest. He probably doesn't care about his town or his city. He doesn't care. So
what a name for a city in California, though. Look out. She's
Yeah.
been targeting California quite a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised to hear about Fireball.
I was pointing that out too because the Eagles, what they did with him in the ritual before the Super Bowl, right, last year. I'm like, I was pointing out the Fireball Eagles. He played for the Fireball Eagles.
I didn't know that.
And yeah. So
again, I know he played for the Cowboys, and then he marries a girl who breakout role was in a cowboy show, and you talk about him being a racist at heart, and just like, that's definitely one of the tropes of, the old Western, which, by the way, I'm just going to say this, the cowboy that we think of in our head never existed. And I truly believe that it never existed. I don't just believe it. I think I have proof as well.
Yeah. The Wild Wild West, if you will. I think that was a whole psyop too. Yeah.
Hoax.
Yeah.
Yep. It was all done on film for children. All that stuff never existed. They just started at the dawn of making movies. Those movies were Buffalo Bill. Funnily enough, that's crazy that we go full circle on this. Yeah,
Buffalo Bill. There you go.
Buffalo Bill is actually the movies were Buffalo Bill and his adventures and everything like that. And there was a film series targeted towards kids early on, and they described this Western American atmosphere that never truly existed.
Yeah, again, a lot of this shit. I mean,
same with the Barnum and Bailey. That's like it paired with that. Like that was the start of the circus too.
So. And who's to say if any of this stuff even really existed? I mean, we don't know. We weren't around during that time. We weren't alive during that time and era. So I mean, who's to say if that's even a real thing? Can you imagine 1,000 years from now, history will be rewritten, and I guarantee you, 1,000 years from now, when we're all dead in the grave, you're gonna have the generation again. They're going to be saying the same thing, like maybe this didn't happen like this. Maybe it was this way. You just never know. Go ahead
and wipe 1990 to whenever this shit ends. Go ahead and wipe that from the people. There's nothing worth learning that's not going to just corrupt the next generation that find out.
Oh my God, yeah. And can you imagine 1,000 years from now when we're not even no longer on this earth no more? I mean. Man, and it's like people don't see that too, how we're being lied to, remocked, all this stuff. History is being rewritten as something else. People don't see it. It's like it's modern day book burning. That's what this shit is. Modern day book burning, and people don't see it, man. We're living in 1984, literally, and it's gonna continue. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just like I'm gonna be honest. People are retarded. People are dumb. Not that smart, they're not that bright, they don't ask questions. See me growing up, I ask questions. Like that's why a lot of people didn't really care for me, or I didn't really have a lot of friends, because I used to ask questions. I didn't go along with the status quo. When I was 13, I was asking questions like, why are we eating the blood of Christ and drinking the blood of Jesus? It seems like some kind of ritual. And I got ostracized for that. I got people, oh, you need to believe in Jesus, you need to repent. It's like, I'm asking a question like, why are we eating the body of Christ and drinking the blood of Christ? This is some kind of sick ritual going on here. But
it's funny because Zach talks about like the growing up in school, and we both lived in Portland, Oregon, and so I share basically the exact same. What's crazy is it's almost when Zach talks. Sometimes I'm literally like in a trance because I'm like, bro, does he know me? Was he like behind me my whole life? Because like the stuff he's talking about is legitimately the exact same thing I went through. The Titanic being I mean, obviously a lot of people go through those things.
The Great Gatsby, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
It's just the stuff they force feed down your face.
Christopher Columbus,
of course, and
Agent 201. Oh my
God, the
Knights
of the Columbus. Beatifying him and sanctifying him. So
and he was bankrolled by the church too. So
of course, that's the only reason he was able to make it. And what is the church? That's the mob. The Templars,
that's the real mafia.
The Templars the original mafia.
Yeah, you got these retards on Twitter like, oh, the Gambetti family. Oh, no. The Jesuits control them too. Just like, you got this dude, Michael Franchese. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard. Again, the guy's very cheesy. I guess it's probably part of his name, too. But guy's a very cheesy guy. He claims to be a Christian. But even though he was Catholic, but now he converted to Christianity. But the guy's corny. I mean, the guy just. I was watching his video the other day about the whole mafia thing. It's like, dude, what are you even saying? You're saying nothing you're saying jack shit. You're not saying anything of value. Your video has, 1 million views. Doing great views on YouTube and counting. But, Zach's video exposing the shit out of it. No kind of views. I don't even know how many views it has. Probably about 5,000 views. So, yeah, it's hilarious. These people coming out and saying, oh, yeah, we're exposing the mob. And it's like, the Jesuits are the mob. The Jesuits run the mafia. The Jesuits do all this shit. That's why they make all kinds of TV shows about it. The Sopranos. That's why they killed Tony Soprano off in a ritual. They killed him off in Rome. They killed him off in Italy at age 51. In Gematria, Rome equals 51. Yeah, and again, they killed him in Italy, in Rome. Again, in Gematria, Rome 51, Conspiracy 51. You know what I mean? Just all this stuff. Adam Weishaupt equals 51.
Born
again, he created the Illuminati.
May 1st. Yeah.
May 1st, right. So, and again, that's May Day. So, you know what? Since we're talking about The Sopranos, let me pull up this post, man. I just got to show this real quick.
The Sopranos, oddly enough, like that, I feel like that psyop was made for now because it was a big show back then, but because it was, what was this, like early 2000s as The Sopranos was like a big show? Nowadays it's like make a resurgence. Everybody like loves The Sopranos again and is always
dude, I watched The Sopranos back when I was a kid, dude. Like I remember watching it religiously with my dad. We watched it on HBO, we'd watch it. So yeah, I mean I remember I grew up watching The Sopranos, but yeah. I just want to show what they did to Charlie Scalise. I want to show you what they did to him. He came out in The Sopranos. He also came out in The Wire, another show that
one's just been killing off all. That was definitely just like a one-off show to just murder people. Like
to get the youth to because a lot of people watch The Wire. A lot of the youth watches it.
Take on the mob, yeah.
Yeah, and they watch it and they're inspired by it, right? These people in these urban communities, they get inspired.
Yeah, everybody loved the like main villain. He was like the most loved person in the show. I can't remember his name, but
is that Omar?
Yeah, yep,
Omar. Yeah, Omar. Because you have Omar, Marlowe, you got Barksdale. I'm probably forgetting a few, but yeah. But yeah, let me just show you what they did to Charlie Scalise, man. They killed Charlie Scalise on the Illuminati's birthday. Look at this. Look how sick this is. They killed him off at age 84. Of course, in Gematria, Masonry, Jesuit, United States of America equals 84. Suppose he died from Alzheimer's, but he died on a day with 51 date numerology. Dies on 5/1, the Illuminati's birthday. And the Sopranos also equals 51.
Wow,
but just notice the Gematria, Sopranos, a conspiracy. 147, 51, 57. Okay, Illuminati is 150, like the Sopranos. But remember, James Gandolfini plays Tony Soprano.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Dies at 51 in Rome. Notice he's born on the CIA's birthday as well, September 18th. But and I never noticed that until I said, like, he's born September 18th, the day in history that the CIA was born. But again, Rome 51. It came out in 99, right? And Sopranos equals 99. Like it came out in 99. But again, the Sopranos 150. Like Illuminati's 150. This man right here, he died in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, which equals 120. Like Illuminati. Again, dead on the Illuminati's birthday. He died 79 days before his birthday. Born July 19th. But again, Alzheimer's disease, 79, like Society of Jesus, like murder, 79. You could also say he died 80 days before his birthday. He played Horseface in The Sopranos. He played Horseface 80, like Bavarian Illuminati 80. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't in The Sopranos. That was that might have been in The Wire. But he portrayed Coach Molinaro in The Sopranos. And look at it. 127, like Bavarian Illuminati. I mean, just come on. I mean, dies on the Illuminati's birthday. But yeah, I mean, they did him dirty, and then they also did Jerry Adler. They did him dirty too. They did him earlier this year on Kobe's birthday of all days.
Hmm.
And notice his birthday. His birthday is February 4th, 2-4. That was on number 24's birthday.
Yep.
But he died on the 47th birthday of Kobe. Again, the Mason studied the 47th prom of Euclid. Again, dies at age 96. If you add the Scottish Rite, the rights to their degrees, 31, 32, and 33, it sums to 96. Again, in gematria, Freemasons, knowledge, Satanism, they all equal 96. But the news broke on the 24th of August. Again, Rome 24. But he died on a day with 57 date numerology, and I was talking about that too at the time. Again, Sopranos equals conspiracy, 57, and 51. It's also 147. But organized crime, for that matter, equals 147. Think about it's a show about organized crime.
Mm-hmm.
But and he died 201 days after his own birthday. Died 201 days after his birthday, and the Jesuit order sums to 201 and 84. Just talked about Charlie Scaley's horse face, at age 84. But he died 74 days after the air date. The show's end date, June 10th. Again, Jewish is 74. He's from Brooklyn, New York, which equals 74. And I think about his name, Jerry Adler. Sounds very Jewish, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But, I have a lot of posts talking about The Sopranos, man. I've done a bunch of posts on them. Richard Romanus, I did a post on him. He died at age 80. For Illuminati 80, like I was just talking about. But, yeah.
Rome right in his name.
Yep, Richard Romanus. There it is. Funny. His name's Richard. But I mean, I probably have more posts than that on the Sopranos, but it's just like, man, it's like, do I even have to go through any more of them just to show you? I mean, just how ritualistic this shit is. I was gonna try. I didn't even know it was episode 58. I was gonna try to bring up.
I meant to mention that. I was gonna say this might be the Freemason episode.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we could do it. We could also do it next time on the 59th episode.
Yeah,
because
true.
59.
59.
58, 59.
But because
I'd
I
be
was
down.
like, man, it is the 58th episode. I might as well bring up some 58s. But again, there's more numbers than just 58. I mean, but yeah, I wanted to bring up the Trump one. I mean, I remember explaining that shit, man. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. Try to explain to people like what's really going on, but like I've tried to explain to people about the ritual. Like for instance, that guy Austin that I was talking to on the street corner.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 weeks ago. I'm like looking at that, man. I'm like, just what are the odds of that? And I even asked him, do you know how tall? Before I even said 58, right? I said, do you even know how tall the Trump Tower is? He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What, the one in Las Vegas? I'm like, no, the one in New York. Oh, I don't know, 58? Well, you guessed right, 58. So, and I was telling him about this. I'm like, okay, what are the odds that Donald Trump wins the 58th presidential election? There's a lot of 58s to his, but I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to keep it simple. Try to keep it simple. Keep it to one number. And then I see they're getting it, then I move on to another number, but keep it to 58. Because he was, obviously he was there trying to get people to sign for Donald Trump. But I was like, okay, what are the odds that Donald Trump, the Jesuit, he's Jesuit educated, what are the odds that he wins the 58th presidential election after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower in New York and then hiring the 58-year-old Steve Ray for inauguration day on a date with 58 date numerology that year in 2017? What are the odds of all this stuff? And then to go on in 2024, the election just happens to land on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November, which is important to the Jesuit order because that's the day in history that the Jesuits tried to kill and assassinate King James, who ended up dying at age 58, who was a Rosicrucian, and he was a Freemason. And I said in gematria, Rosicrucian equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like Solomon's Temple. Again, Solomon's Temple is where Freemasonry secrets are based in. So I was explaining all this stuff to him. I had some retard come up to me. I didn't even know who this guy was. He just comes up walking to me. He's like, oh, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. And I had to tell the guy to fuck off. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had to tell the guy to fuck off because, again, I'm not going to have some retard come up to me like, oh, that's all a bunch of conspiracy mumbo jumbo. So, again, you know. But, again, people like that. I mean, it's just you're trying to explain shit to somebody out there and you got retards that come around. Oh, that's like a bunch of conspiracy shit. It's like, no, you're a retard. You don't understand what I'm talking about. 58. I mean, literally talking about 58 and Donald Trump. There's a million more 58s of Donald Trump. Don't even get me started on that, but yeah, just keep it short and simple with that. Yeah, I keep it to just, you know, talking about the 58th election, 58-story Trump Tower. Oh yeah, and he got 58% of the electoral college votes, right? But yeah,
it's kind of similar to the you mentioned the Las Vegas Trump Tower. There was another thing, you know, where the
shooting.
Well, there was
in Las Vegas.
There was also was it not where the Tesla blew up?
Oh yeah, right. I didn't even mention that, but yeah.
And that's a 64-story tower, and Musk, of course, equals 64. So that was another thing I noticed back then too. So yeah. The stories of his buildings, they play into it. So
look at the one in Chicago. If you look at the one in Chicago where there were because there's a Trump Tower or Trump Hotel, I should say, in Chicago, right? And just look at that. I mean, if you look at the address for it, it's literally addressed 401 Wabash. That's literally where it's addressed at. And again, 401, that's the 79th prime number. Donald Trump, I pointed this out in my live stream when they were doing the No Kings protests, which were completely fake and staged. But I pointed that out. I'm like, huh. I looked it up, and it's like 401 Wabash or whatever it was. I'm like, come on, man. This dude has it at 401, and they're all protesting outside of it at 401 Wabash. And that's the 79th prime. And again, Donald Trump, 79. And again, the first No Kings protest was on his 79th birthday. But, yeah, I was pointing that out big time. But let me see if I can pull up my post because I want to show you guys this stuff, man. Just to have like some kind of visual. Here it is. But yeah, it was on the anniversary of Event 201 too. So Yep. Again, the King, London, Masonic, occult, killing. They're all 74. Not even going to go through that, but just know. I mean, come on. No King's Day. 11947 to protest number 47, whose name equals 47. I mean, just, come on, give me a break. And again, the 119th Congress. Don't even get me started on the 119th Congress. But I thought there was going to be some kind of shooting on that day just because of how divisive all that shit is, but I guess not. But
I feel like that was kind of used as like a counterpoint because it's, you know, supposed to be this like massive uprising for, you know, mostly liberal minded people. And, you know, instead it got to be a conservative talking point because apparently their turnout was like jack shit.
Yeah, I mean, you saw like the protests. I mean, they're just like, it's like boring. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was just like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and it's like, but again, that's just what keeps the political divide going, right? I mean, you got people on the right. They're like, oh, this is stupid. Oh, this is dumb. Yet they're over there cheering on the orange goon who's taking away more rights and liberties from people. Mm-hmm. But it's just hilarious, man. You got these people, and then you got people attacking Mom Donnie. Huge judgment ritual. Huge 9/11 joke that goes over people's heads. I was saying why they were going to do some 9/11 shit with Zoran Mamdani. Sure enough, they did. I thought they were going to start doing it when he was 33 years old, but they waited till he was 34. I was like, come on, man. That would have been such mockery to do it at age 33. But, yeah, here, to point out another 47 with Donald Trump, the recent demolition of the East Wing in the White House State Ballroom on October 20th. Kamala Harris's birthday. And again, it came 47. The announcement came 47 days after Trump's birthday. Of course, he's number 47. Again, Gematria Ballrooms 47 like Trump. Again, DC's the land of 47. Again, here's the list. President, authority, government, yada, yada, yada. You get it. Whig is 47. Again, the Republican Party came out of the Whig Party. But again, the cornerstone for DC was Leon Day with 47-day numerology. That Mason studied the 47 Prima Euclid. But the demolition of it came 120 days after Donald Trump's birthday, on Kamala's birthday, and again he defeated Kamala supposedly. But again, ballrooms 128, like White House State ballrooms 28. But all this stuff, again, Zach covered it. But here's something that Zach kind of missed out on. I know he covered the 201 with the guy that the ballroom goes back to, traces back to 1588. Mm-hmm. His name does equal 201. But notice he died at age 75. His name, right, this right here, equals 75. And he also died 128 days after his birthday in history. He's born March 17th, died July 23rd. Again, that's 128 days later. Again, ballroom, White House State Ballroom 128. But his birth name, or his name, I don't even know how to say it. Thoy not equals 88, like Trump, like ballroom. And his name, right, Thoynot Arbaugh, or I don't know how to say his last name.
Probably Arbaugh.
Yeah, Arbaugh. But 202, again, that's the DC area code. But, and just think about it, Arbaugh, and you think about Joe Biden, you think about Beau Biden. Arbaugh. Beau Biden, dead at age 46. But 201 days after the Pope's birthday, or before the Pope's birthday, I should say. But, yeah, I mean, just all this stuff, man. All this 88 shit. Who's to say if Trump even lives to 88? I'm just going to say it right now. I'm thinking Trump might even go at age 88.
Homie's limping around with a colostomy bag stuck in between his cheeks. So, who's to say?
You know what? Who's
documented
even
that?
Lives?
Pretty funny.
Who is to even say that he probably doesn't even live past 88? I mean, Trump equals 88. I mean, there's been so many 88 rituals with Donald Trump,
Well,
and he went to
2 sons that have been kind of thrusted into weird positions. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Don Jr. and Byron really start to
Byron Trump, yeah. Well, and then some
Byron Trump will be in our political sphere when he's of age.
He's being groomed.
It's already been told. It's been foretold.
Yeah. He's being groomed. But yeah, don't forget Donald Trump went to this university right here, the Jesuit University. Look at this shit, man. I mean, look at they have the Jesuit Tanya Christina Tetlow. She went to Loyola in New Orleans, but she was also a not priest, but she was she's a Jesuit. And it says right here, she's born to a Jesuit priest, I should say, not a priest. But funny, her right here, Elizabeth. They mention of Elizabeth equals 88 as well. But notice her name, Tanya Christina Tetlow, 88. And yeah, again, Trump went to Fordham, which is the 88 university, if you will. But going down the list, the former head of Fordham was Joseph Michael McShane, who equals 88, like Holy Roman Empire. Trump went there, Trump 88. But yeah, just all this stuff. Irish. Yeah, he was the 32nd president, so that means she's the 33rd, right? But there's obviously more to it here, but yeah. Oh, and the other president at the time that was replaced, right? Joseph Aloysius O'Hare. He died on March 29th. That's the 88th day of the year. Of course, his name even equals 88. So, I mean, just come on. Yeah, I mean, just 88 university. Yeah, Trump 88. Charlie Kirk did 88 days after his birthday. I mean, Turning Point USA. We're having a turning point. But, yeah, just again, just documenting all this shit. There's probably even another 88 with that. But, just covering the bases here with that. But, yeah, and again, when they get to 34th, I guarantee when Fordham replaces Tetlow, they might even replace her with another 88. It's what they do.
Seems like they have to at this point.
Oh, they've been doing it. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. What are the odds of that, right? The 3, just out of the 3 right there, they just happen to equal 88. There's all 3 of them. Come on. Joseph Michael McShane, and the other Joseph O'Hare.
It's
You
two
know.
Josephs too. I mean,
By the way, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the one thing that stood out to me, just because thinking esoterically with the terminology that they like to use in the media, but just like the continual mention of the ballroom. Baal is a an entity from
Moloch.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a sacrificial. You sacrifice to the god, and how they did it, and they torture and sacrifice
And you just think
with
about
the
the name
bowl, and
ball
it's
too, right?
terrible.
Baseball. You play baseball. You play football. You play basketball. Think about
They're
it.
able to get that in there all the time.
And what's funny about that? Look at Moloch. Look at where you're at, Moloch, and use extended gematria 201. 201.
Catch.
They got to put their numbers all over their shit. But yeah, 201. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious to see that the Jesuits control it all, and people want to say, well, there's other orders out there. Yeah, there is other orders out there, and I'm not denying that there's not, but think the top, the very top, I'd say the Jesuits control all of it. So that goes for the Church of Satan, by the way, too.
I mean, it's in the name, order. An order is also what it is. It is an order is it's a way of what's the word?
It's global. It's global.
Exactly, but like these individual societies, they are beholden to the larger order. They're a smaller order within a larger order. It's not like they can just go and do whatever they want, and they're not a part of the
It's just like we talked
thing
about
that
with the Knights of
birthed them.
Columbus. Like it's with the Knights of Columbus, same thing. Like they have to be like their thing is you have to be Catholic. You have to be a Catholic in order to be
aligned with the Vatican.
Right. Exactly. And again, it is just like I said, I don't know my uncle's whole life story, but I just know like you just never know. I mean, you just never know what's going on behind closed doors. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was going on. I wouldn't be surprised if the hospital pulled the plug and said, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna go on September 27th. We got the script ready to go. We're gonna pull your plug. We're gonna pull the plug." Because what I heard was he was doing fine. He was like recovering. And then all of a sudden, just on September 27th, that fateful day, he just passed away peacefully. And it's like, come on, man.
And that's like a common thing too. You'll hear about like family members visit the hospital and they say they're in good spirits. A day later, they're dead.
Yeah, it's just like with him. It's like, he was doing very well. He was responsive, doing pretty good. Tip top shape. Next day, September 27th rolls around. Yeah, he's gone. It's like, come on, man. It's like, yeah, he passed away peacefully, and it's like his family couldn't even be there either, which was sad because of the whole COVID thing, right? They were doing like this shit with basically if you didn't have a coronavirus vaccine pass, you couldn't go in the hospital. You couldn't even go in there and visit your family. So that was going on at the time, and as you know, my dad didn't get the vaccine, so. And that's thanks to me because I was like, come on, man. I mean, I'm not going along with this shit. I'm a pops. This shit's all an agenda. It's all ritual. It's all this shit is. That's why I have people wearing masks outside, bro. It's like, it's why they have you doing this shit. It's a ritual. It's a humiliation ritual. You're wearing a mask. That's what they used to do back in the slave times. They used to have people wear masks. So, and just think about it too. It's just like people are wearing masks in the summertime where it's hot. Like here in the West Coast, like here in Cali, it gets really hot out here. Like it gets really hot and it gets dry, especially here in the valley. It gets hot and dry. People out there wearing their masks, fiddling around with it. You know what I mean? It's just like
people catching all sorts of weird pneumonias and
breathing in your own carbon dioxide as well. Yep. You're breathing in your own shit. That's why I was telling them, like, you guys are breathing in your own shit. Wouldn't you rather just breathe air like we did prior to COVID? Would you rather you'd be much safer breathing your own fucking air than breathing in your own carbon dioxide, breathing in your own shit. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing. You're wearing these masks, and you don't know where these masks have been. They can say, oh, it whatever, right, with the germs, but it's like these things are made in these labs. These dirty sweatshop labs. You don't even know what's in those damn sweatshops. Rats running around. You don't know. You don't know?
Not to mention early on, like 90% of the masks people were wearing were cloth masks, which were just awful for breathability and
Exactly.
all. So it's like people were just making it's like you fight one health risk with another. It's just like, oh, thanks, Fauci. Thanks, like CDC. Thanks,
Yeah, thank you, Jesuit Fauci.
and,
We appreciate that. Thank you, Jesuit CDC. We appreciate that. You know
Mr.
what I mean? So,
Georgetown now. We went to the
Everyone forgot they
stronghold.
had an immune. Everyone forgot they had an immune system too. Is my can't fight
He-
nothing. I got it. I got to get a mask. Got to get the toilet paper. Got to get a jab. My body ain't gonna hold up against nothing. It's just like,
here,
and it's
just
all you see it too. I mean, it's this
yeah.
soft pussy generation, and then COVID had a lot to
Yep.
do with that. I mean, it just shut people right down and just put them away. Like I
Bunch of
always say,
tards. Bunch of tards,
Yeah.
man. Just going along with shit. Here, for all the retards out there. Whoops, if I can spell it right. Coronavirus.
With a corny
Whoops.
virus. So.
Coronavirus 56. COVID vaccine. Whoops, if I can spell it. I can't even spell tonight. COVID vaccine. Society of Jesus. 56. Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci, 56.
I forget toilet paper.
Yep, toilet paper. Yep.
Toilet paper, but Black Lives Matter. Can't ever forget that. Whoops.
Yep.
Black Lives
Summer
Matter.
of love.
Here, I'll put toilet paper up there right now, but all CNI.
Summer of Love is also 56. That's what they were calling the.
Whoops. Yeah, it is 56. Whoops. And yeah, toilet paper. Yeah, if I can spell it. Yeah, toilet paper 56. Here, mind control. So people were really under mind control 56. Where was Kobe buried at before he died? Corona Del Mar 56. You know what I mean? Regeneron's another 56. Regeneron 50. Whoops. Yeah, that's how you spell Regeneron 56. Washington D.C. 56. Unemployment, because that's what happened during the coronavirus scamdemic. Unemployment. 56. Oh, food shortage. I think it's when you run it the other way, but yeah.
Isn't pandemic 56 too?
No, it's 65. It's a reflection.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, pandemic. Whoops. It's when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. It is, or no. It's when you run it forwards. My bad. It's when you run it forwards.
Scamdemic, oddly enough, does equal 56. I
knew there was something with pandemic that did.
The scamdemic, yeah. It's 56.
Yeah, pretty funny.
But yeah, there's a plandemic. But yeah, I mean, what are the odds of that? I remember showing this to people, like just showing what are the odds of all these 56s? And just like all these retards, oh, so you think all this stuff matters? You got 4 ciphers, bro. Yeah, exactly. You got 4 ciphers, bro. You can make anything equal anything, bro. Yeah, bro.
And you see, you know what sucks about the vernacular is bruh used to be like a wholesome term when used correctly, but now it's just retarded and used as like a filler word. I mean, it was always relatively a filler word, but it had some like, I don't know. There was something different behind it. Nowadays, all these words are just like that, bruh, on God. It's just like, shut the hell up. It just don't mean anything. It's just like just saying words to just say them.
Right. You know what's funny is when you write out 68 in word form, it also equals 56. And just think about that. Think about that in light of the coronavirus pandemic. Just think about how it was coined in 68.
Yep.
How on 9/11, the flights that hit the towers supposedly, they're all add up to 263, which is a 56 prime. But yeah, just think about that, 68. And those towers came up in 68. But
Fauci made the head of
NIH in 84. What were they calling it? They were calling it the Fauci Ouchie 56. You know what I mean? There's probably more than 56 I'm forgetting right now, but just those are just honestly, this is the short list. I mean, you want to add another one on there? Just add another one on there. George
Floyd.
George Floyd,
yep.
It equals 65, but that's still the reflection, right? I mean,
Yep.
So, and again, think about it. I can't breathe. You know what's funny about that? I can't breathe? See, I can't breathe. No, it's 52. That's funny because Minnesota's 52.
Yep.
But got the 74 and also the 106. But yeah. I don't think that had the 50s. I think it's Black Power that has that 56 in it. But yeah, just all this 56 shit. I remember pointing that out. Oh, so you think numbers matter, bro? You think these numbers have a meaning to it, bro? You think these numbers actually mean anything, bro?
You got 4
It's
ciphers. You can make anything equal anything, man.
Oh my
4
god.
ciphers? Come on, man.
Yeah, you can just put anything that equals anything. Here, whenever somebody tells me that, I just do this. Okay, I'm like, let's just see my name. We'll just do Richard, right? Does Richard equal 56? No. Does my middle name equal 56? Nope.
What about say
Does my other middle name equal 56? Nope. Does my last name equal 56? Nope. Got the 113 in it, which is funny, but nope. But does my full name equal 56? Here, let's just see. Nope, not at all. It got the 137 and the 74 in it.
74.
Oh, Agent. Hold on.
But it also has a 241 and 88 in it. But
Agent 88.
Yep. But am I doing a Masonic ritual? It's just like, funny enough, that has a 56 in it, but I mean, just the 88. Here, let's just see. Does King Richard TV have the? Has the Jesuit order numbers, but it doesn't have the
ritual 81.
Yep, and 207, right? 207 Art of War, but yeah, again, I don't see a 56 in there. I don't see a 56. So again, just when people say, "Oh, you can make anything equal anything," again, I proved it. Richard doesn't equal 56. Went through my name, doesn't equal 56. I even put my name in there, doesn't even equal 56. So equals 74. That's
my
funny.
Son's name equals 201 in both ways you spell it, his full name and his short name.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? My sister, who I'm not that close to, she's born on the 20th day of the first month. She's born on January 20th, I should say. So, and my dad's born on February 13th, the day leaving 322 days left in the year. Well, in non-leap years, he was born in 68, so it was a leap year that year. So obviously, it would have been the
68. The agenda started.
Yep.
He was a Manchurian.
Hey, you know what's funny about that too? My mom's born on the 115th day of the year as well. Masonics 115, but yeah, there's an organic side too. I mean, there is an organic side. There is an organic side.
Let me say something real quick. Admitting that there's an organic side, is that not as good as saying there's God?
What do you mean?
I mean, are you saying that numbers sprouted out illogically from nothing and became the root of nature, or are you saying someone applied the numbers in order to create the nature? Well, why would you have organic numbers?
Well, I do think that there is an organic side. I do think there's like there is a I guess you want to say coincidental side of it, but there is a what I'm showing about Donald Trump, when I'm showing you about Doug Martin, or when I'm showing you about Mangold, when I'm showing you about his death, that's not organic. You can see that's not organic. You see that's being forced. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between, because there's a lot of people who say that too, like, oh, well, you mentioned an organic side, so maybe this stuff all has to be the universe. It's like,
yeah, I disagree with that. I just think that I agree that there is an organic side.
Right.
But like, in agreeing that there is an organic side, where does it come from? I don't think that the organic side was created by the ones who are using it for evil.
No. So I do what I think about that. What I think it was, you gotta understand that this knowledge was taken from somebody, right? Or an order, or from a people or a society, whatever, tribe. I do think that it was hijacked, and I do think that this knowledge, right, it might have been used for like positive stuff prior to the cabal getting their hands on it, but then you just saw what happened with that, right? Just how a group, an entity, an organization got their hands on this, and now they're using it now to exactly, corruption, to play God over people. So yeah, and again, people ask all the time, like they're like, oh well, that doesn't mean English. English is not the only language of the world. Yeah, but everybody, again,
They teach it
English.
everywhere. It's teach worldwide. Why is
Exactly,
that?
it's teach worldwide. Exactly.
Great point,
Yeah, and
Nelson.
people always say, well,
Exactly.
how come you don't have Russian gematria? How come you don't have Asian gematria
Sure
or
you do.
Spanish gematria? It's like, again, all those alphabets are based on Rome. All of them. Hebrew.
Also, those by the way, this is something I've talked about multiple times. English is transcoded for the digital era. It is though Russian is a romantic language. It is
Right.
spoken to speak easily. It's so that you, in the amount you're enunciating, you say the most.
Right.
It's
it's not like English where like
for ease.
yeah,
English
it's not,
has 8 different words for the same thing.
exactly. Look at four. Like, I mean, come on, four. There's this word, right? Four. Look at 4 and 40, right? 4. You're right. You write it with the UR, right?
Mhm.
And then 40, you would think you would write the same way, right? Like that, right?
Nah.
I mean, it's stupid, right? I mean, just think about it. Like, why so many spellings for the same word?
And it's like if you look at like a name like Brett Favre, it's not even Brett Favre, it's Brett Favre.
Yeah,
Favre,
exactly.
Favre. It's not even Favre.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like
no accents, no nothing, not a single even like way to understand that it would be pronounced Favre. Just you got to know that Favre for some reason just says Favre.
Yeah, it's like it's Favre.
Imagine being like an immigrant trying to take like an Americanized test, and it's just like, who is this Hall of Fame quarterback? You got to say it right. It's like shit.
Yeah, and again, probably one of the worst. And that's how fixed the NFL is too. I mean, really, to have a guy like Brett Favre in the league, I mean, come on, that is a joke. It's like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. I mean, come on, it's a joke.
I'll throw Drew Brees in there too.
Yeah, you can throw Drew Brees in there. Yeah, that's
the old Panther, Jake Delhomme.
Yeah, Jake Delhomme.
There's an archetype for what a quarterback is, and that's definitely changing. You're going to see the archetype change. What I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a huge influx of white people in the NBA. The NBA is getting hella whiter.
Europeans.
Yeah, exactly. So many Europeans, and also just like you got phenoms like Cooper Flag, and it's crazy. It's
the Joker and the other one too. Just all these.
Yeah, there's like faces of the league across. It's more and more becoming white people. I wonder if that is just like a correction, so that you can't use the same old tired excuse, because the same tricks that are being played on white people to turn them racist, or quote unquote,
same as it is for the black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, and it's like what that kind of reminds me. It reminds me of that old movie. It's a classic movie. White Men. Was it White Men Can't Jump?
Can't Jump. Yep.
Yeah, that's a classic right there. But
I don't think I've ever seen the full thing, but I have seen most of it. I understand exactly the entire premise, and
I haven't watched that movie in ages. But
Woody Harrelson.
I think that's what the NBA is becoming now. But but again, all these athletes are Manchurians, man. That's one thing people got to realize. He's like during the World Series. I mean, that's just another joke too. I mean, again, I think I was on there the other day when you were on there, Logan, when I was talking about how I was trying to get my buddy at work, talking about how this knowledge and how all this shit's scripted, because he's a big baseball guy. He loves baseball. He likes the MLB. He's a big Dodger fan, right? But
good luck trying to convince him right now.
Yeah, and I'm like, come
wait till they lose.
Yeah, and I was like convincing. I was like trying to tell this dude, I'm like, listen, man. All of this shit's rigged and scripted. You don't get the joke of Toronto and LA when Drake's from Toronto or from Canada and Kendrick's from LA. You don't see the joke. I mean, that should just be blatant level mockery. Even the MLB was saying that. It's like even the MLB was mocking you. So it's like, but I was pointing out, I'm like, what are the odds that? And maybe somewhere right now, this dude that I work with, maybe he's laughing somewhere because I told him about the 39 ritual they could possibly do on Game 1 of the World Series on Drake's 39th birthday. And
true.
Maybe he's somewhere like, no, maybe this dude's right. But And by the way, Drake equals 39, like Jackie's 39. What's funny about that? Well, we'll talk about that right now, but just like the ritual they did. What are the odds, right? What are the odds that the game one of the World Series, which is Toronto versus LA, again, think about it, Kendrick, Drake, beefing supposedly, right? What are the odds, right, that game one starts on his 39th birthday, which is the day leaving 68 days left in there. And if you write out, I'm going to show you guys. Look at this shit. This is how you know it's all Manchurian fucking actors in this league, right? Look at Shohei, if I can spell it right, Shohei Ohtani. Look at that. 131, 68. Speaking of 58.
Yeah.
But look at championship. Literally, in all ciphers, literally equals the same thing. So I'm like, what are the odds that the game one of the World Series where Ohtani's facing the Blue Jays? What are the odds that it starts on the day leaving 68 days left in the air, and the dude's name literally equals 68 on Drake's birthday? And the dude's like, I don't know, man. Coincidences happen. I'm like, come on, man. You're gonna call this a coincidence? By the way, Blue Jays. Whoops, so I can type correctly. Look at that. Blue Jays 121. Here we are during the 121st World Series. LA. Yeah, it equals 13. But look at it. L's the 12th letter, A the first, 12, 1, like 1, 2, 1. Like here's the 121st World Series. The team that I'm watching out for next year for the 122nd World Series is obviously San Francisco, because again, San Francisco got that 122 in it, and it's located on the 122nd meridian. But so is Kansas City. Kansas City has that gematria 122. So these are teams that I'm watching out for. I'm also watching out for Seattle, because Seattle is also located on the 122nd meridian, and where they play baseball, I think it's T-Mobile Park, which equals 122, if I'm correct. So, yeah, let me just type that in there. Let me just double check my work here. Double check it here. T-Mobile Park. Yep, 122.
Yep.
It's 122. So, yeah, I mean, those are just teams I'm watching out for next year. But and who knows? Maybe the Mariners might go in there, but they might not. You just never know. But they were close this year. I guess you can kind of say it was like the closest ever to get into a World Series
since 2001.
Yep, since the fall of the towers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gordon. We had the Japanese phenom.
Yeah, and don't forget Mariners. Look at Mariners, 119.
Also, did you see how ritualistic they become? Like they have the trident on the field. Like whenever they make a crazy play, they hold the trident up, and I'm just like, guys, my goodness, what? Right?
Well,
it's like iconography can be, I guess, goofy and fun, but it's like, holy shit, you have all these people pouring out all their energy to the top of their lungs. Meanwhile, you're like just harnessing
energy harvesting.
It's so clear, and it's just like, look at what the old gods required. They required, prayer, or what is the other word for it? Energy, basically. But
right.
I can't think of.
By the way, speaking about energy, I mean, just energy, it has the numbers. So yeah, I mean,
well, yeah, dude. I mean, I know you teased it, but like, would you be down to make next stream a masonry stream or something? There's no reason why we can't.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like 58 was. See, if I would have known it was episode 58, I mean, I would have made it would have came over here talking about all the 58 ship. We kind of did with the Donald Trump stuff, but yeah, we can. I mean, again, for people who don't know, Freemasonry.
58, 59 for both episodes. 59.
Yeah.
A NASCAR finale.
We won't be able to touch on it until episode 139, or I guess 115.
Man, can you imagine when we get to episode 201? I'm going to be on here for episode
201. Dude, oh, you better be.
I'm definitely coming on here for episode 201.
We better have a bunch of people on. I got to get Zach on for that. So.
Man, you got to. Here's one thing I'll say too, is like I was saying the other day when you were on there, I was like, we were talking about how it's just me that comes on here most of the time. It's basically, I was about to say masonry. It was basically me who comes on here like all the time. Like I'm probably one of your most reoccurring guests on here. Like the only person
you're the only one. You've been on here 4 times, 58 episodes. You've had one person on here, and that's been you for 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what I was telling Zach. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, but just I was telling Zach this. I'm like, it has to be more than just me and you out here doing this shit.
Yep.
It has to be more than just because like you gotta understand, guys. Like I only have so many times in a day. Like there's only so many hours in a day that I have to put this information out there. You know what I mean? It's like, and there's some times where like me and my lady, sometimes we want to chill and there's not all the time where I want to be just talking about gematria all the time. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be other people out there filling in the gaps. So when I'm not doing anything or when Zach's not doing a live stream, there has to be other people out there doing the information and putting it out there and sharing it the way we're teaching it. Not trying to sound like somebody. Oh, well, you have to teach it my way or else. But it's like there's only one way to be. There's only one way to be taught.
I agree completely. Like
100%. Yep.
Me and Austin definitely know of the like formulaic. No, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like the formulaic way of going about, date numerology, all this stuff. And we apply that stuff, but you can also go ahead and talk about all the other aspects of everything. There's always more to it than just, I'm not saying gematria. Gematria is the linchpin, the thing that exposes the ritual to begin with. Otherwise you are just talking about things you could never prove and things that those things have their place, but it's a lot better when it's rooted in something you can prove. And it's it's made it so much easier.
Yeah, it's just like the 58 shit. I mean, you can go on all day talking about Donald Trump 58, but if you don't have the gematria piece, then what are you really talking about? I mean, it is interesting that and that's another thing about YouTube too, is like nobody on YouTube, like these truth tellers, they don't even talk about the occult. They always talk about how, it's Israel. Like, remember when Charlie Kirk died? Yeah, all these people talking about, it's Israel, it's Israel, it's Israel. It's like, no, it's the fucking Jesuits. No, you're covering up for Israel. It's like, do you not realize that Israel is a newer nation? You got to think about it. The state of Israel is a way newer nation than the Jesuits, okay? The Jesuits have been around since the 16th century. And you know what? I tend to believe that they've been around even longer than that. I tend to believe they've probably been longer than the 16th century. Just that's all the history book tells us. They tell us, it's the 16th century. I don't believe that. I don't think it's just... I think they've been here for a lot longer, but under a different name. Probably under different aliases. That's why they have a bunch of orders, secret societies.
Well, they are they're just picking up like we were talking earlier. It's a rebranding. You can't talk about child sacrifice in the open anymore. You can't. You had the quote unquote. People were becoming less like animals, if you will, and I mean the modern society was forming, and you had people going from living in mud to living, in newer societies that don't accept, it's a lot easier to sacrifice your kid to the storm god when you are in a drought and your whole village is starving. But once, grain becomes available and things, no one's starving anymore. And I'm not saying it's right, by the way. That wasn't like it saying, oh, it's cool. Moloch, get your shit, get yours, bro. No, that's not what I'm saying. But with the modern, they had to rebrand for modern times, just like all the different sects of Christianity. It's like, why is there like 82 denominations of Christianity and like Bibles too? It's just like
and there's people out there who contend that the King James Bible is
the best,
the most important one. The best, but it's really not. I mean, just all it is just rebranded shit. That's all it is. I mean, it sounds a little bit nicer, it sounds a little bit fancier.
Also omission. But each version of the Bible is omission, and then of course they'll tease you with like lost books of the Bible that it's just like that came about
lost
after World
files.
War II.
All this type of deal. But there's a channel I'm gonna call out on here, and I don't think this dude's doing great work. I think this dude's just pushing bullshit. This guy, The Truth Is. If you watch those, he's somebody I came across recently. I came across his videos recently, but the one video I was watching was him. He went into a lot of stuff, but he didn't really talk about too much. Again, if you're not talking about gematria, it's like you're not really talking about shit. He made a video on the weapons movie. I did a video. What's funny is I watched that post when he did it, and it inspired me to do my own post. And yeah, I was connected to the Minnesota Catholic Church shooting. He did not point that out. He pointed out the only thing he did point out was it was, the movie was clearly in tribute to this man right here, who died on August 7th.
Whitest kid,
So, yeah, he supposed he was a comedian. So
honestly, it was like a kind of like a precursor to the like zany sketch show archetype. And the Whitest Kids, was kind of funny. They were out there. They were saying crazy shit. On the regular, their episodes were crazy.
Right, but it's like
he's another one that wore the dress. Like all of that cast were down, like looking like women and stuff like that. So it's a lot of weird shit. But yeah, he died weirdly. I remember that.
Yeah, Trevor Moore. I mean, just notice the day he died on August 7th, 2021. He died on the.
He was born 4/4 too.
Yeah, he was born on April 4th. That's the anniversary of MLK being assassinated. But notice he's born. He was or he died, I should say. He died on August 7th. That's the anniversary of the Jesuits coming out of suppression, and he died at age 41. And remember, the Jesuits, they came out of suppression after 41 years. And if you here, I'm gonna just pull up my post on it. But let me see if I can pull it up here. Kind of all over the place here, but yeah, just trying to pull some stuff up here. But yeah, again, he died at age 41. I point out he was born on 4/4. Of course, again, the shooting was on a 44 date numerology. That was 19 days later. Again, chaos 19, but again, shooting, mass shooter, firearms, gunfire, execution 44. Did you catch recently that the supposed one of the victims supposedly got released out of the hospital on the day leaving 69 days left in here? And you want to take a guess at what her name equals in gematria?
Probably 69.
Again, it's just news by the numbers every day. But if you look at the picture, right? If you look it up, I'm going to try to find her right quick. I'm going to pull it up here. Just tell me what you see. Let's see. I can't think of her name right now. I'm just going to Sophia Annunciation Catholic School. I'm just going to pull it up here. Where is it at? Oh, here it is. Her name is Sophia Forchus. I'm going to have to do some deep digging on what that name means because there's always something with it. But
Sophia? Oh, yeah. That's like the divine divine goddess.
Feminine, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget, Mac Miller. Mac Miller had a album called The Divine Feminine, which is about Kabbalah. A lot of people that don't know that. I used to listen to Mac Miller back in the day, but when he dropped that album again, Divine Feminine, that has a lot to do with Kabbalah. And think about how he died too, right? In a very Kabbalic ritual. But he died on the 22nd anniversary of Tupac Shakur's death, or being shot, I should say. Again, Tupac. Again, just think about it. Tupac, rapper, the white rapper. But notice the picture they're using of her. Look at this. All blue. Now, I don't know what ball cap she's wearing, but just notice how they have her dressed in all blue. This is all the media right here, all blue.
I mean, it's going to be Royals or Dodgers, right? Maybe Cubs, I guess.
It could be the Cubs. They've been doing all this shit with Charlie Kirk, right? I mean, all the tributes they've been paying with Charlie Kirk and the Chicago Cubs. But just
Kansas City.
But again, it's not an accident to have her in all blue. And again, this comes in the time of the World Series, right? Just think about it. But and again, it's two blue teams, right? Notice in gematria, World Series sums to 69. Just think about it.
Illuminati.
But, yeah, and again, Illuminati 69.
Her name equals 69 too.
But yeah, her name equals 69. It also has that 138, 213. Federal has that gematria 138. Death is 213.
Sophia is also like the image of Mary. That's what that means. So
yeah, and again, Catholic too, right? Just think about that. Catholic church shooting, Mary, Virgin Mary, DC. Think about it. But yeah, again, I don't think you gotta love how Fox News has it at 112. I mean, it's sort of a joke. But no, it was 57 days. She got released 57 days after the shooting. 57 days. I had to point that out. And again, that's not an accident. No, what we know over here. And again, World Series.
I wonder if they'll also release the 57 days of like extensive doctor work to fix her so we can all
Exactly.
see that and be there right along with her to cheer her on, or will that never be
And
visible
and,
because
and
who
like I
knows if
doubt
she was
she was
even
even
there?
shot. I doubt she was
Of
even
course,
shot.
it's the daughter of an employee at that hospital that is politicized. What do you
Exactly.
know? Her mom's a nurse at that hospital. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like people don't get it.
Probably
It's like,
twerking for TikTok these
Yeah.
last
I
few
mean, look at
days.
this shit. 57 days. I mean, why even have to point that out? 57 days, really? I mean, but yeah,
After
this guy.
nearly 2 months. Why not say that? I remember
Exactly.
I remember
Exactly.
like sometimes you'll read posts and it'll be like,
Yeah.
um, they'll say it in ways to be like it was like just after 200 days, just over 200 days later, you look it up, it's exactly 201. It's like, oh, come on.
Exactly. It's like, why even do this? I mean, just look at this article. Look at this. A 12-year-old girl who doctors said was on the brink of death after being shot in the head this summer while praying with classmates at Annunciation camp. And just think about the Annunciation
Damn,
part,
what
right?
was
Just
she
think about
praying for?
look at that.
Yeah.
Annunciation has that CIA right in the middle of it.
Mm.
Do you guys remember that shooting that happened back in 2013?
It also
the LAX
says a
shooting?
nun CIA.
Yeah, none. Think about it. And the Jesuits
Yeah.
created the CIA. But do you guys remember the shooting that happened in LAX? I think it was back in like 2013. The guy's name was literally CIA.
Yeah, we talked
They had,
about that. I believe that's
yeah. It's just that shit was such a joke, man. I remember being a kid. I think I had to be about 10 or 11 years old at the time. This is 2013. I was like, I was watching it because it was like the viral news story, and it was like, I was like, come on, man. And was that a plastic dummy? I'm like, is that a plastic dummy? And hey, you know what? My 10-year-old eyes were not deceiving me. I guess, I saw right there that it was all bullshit because it was a plastic dummy. Years later, I look back at it, I'm like, come on, it is a plastic dummy, man. But
shit's funny though.
yeah, after 57 days, I mean, come on, man. I wonder how many days it is from the here, let's just see how many days it is from. Remember, the mayor of the city was also a part of it too, right? Jacob Frey. Remember, the shooting came 35 days after his 44th birthday on the 44-date numerology. But he's born July 23rd. Let's see how many days that is. Yeah, I usually do this. Like I used to do this all the time, where I just go live and do like these long decodes. And I would just live decode the news, just like. Man, I remember doing that. I just do like 2-hour, 3-hour live streams. Just doing this,
I
decoding the news.
Use more practice in it, but I would do something similar too with all the top headlines when I first got into it. And man, this shit is more intuitive and easy. I always say, I say it's easy. That doesn't mean to scare away the person that doesn't necessarily have like a numerological type
93 days.
mind.
Look at that.
93.
Look at that, man. Look at that. As we were just talking about that, I'm like, come on, look at this shit. This news story comes 93 on the governor's 93rd day of his age. Again, Minneapolis, Minnesota equates to 93, and it's located on the 93rd. Is it 93rd meridian, right? Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm gonna write it out. Look at that.
Hey.
Whoops, if I can spell it right, yeah. There it is. Look at that. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Come on, man. 93. As they say, the sun's 93 million miles away. Saturn's 93.
They say Saturn was the original sun as well.
Right. And notice weapons equals 93. Again, you watch this movie, right? You watch the movie Weapons. Has a lot to do with the predictive programming for this shooting. And that's the thing with the guys, like, the truth is, this guy talks about this stuff. He talks about all this stuff, but he never touches on really anything. He doesn't touch on like how he could have showed how weapons is really synced up with the Minnesota Catholic Church shooting. Again, I showed that at the time that the movie came out, or after this post was made. I showed how that was all connected to how it was all clearly synced up with.
Does he just touch on like the esoteric like nature of what they're doing, or what?
Yeah, he'll touch on that. Like, here's the video that I had a problem with. I had a problem with this video right here. The video he went on, that guy David or whatever. He's trying to make it seem like this guy actually went out and did it. I want you guys to realize, guys like this rapper right here on your screen, they are a part of a cabal. They don't do jack shit. They don't run shit. They don't do shit. He signed the Interscope, so just figure that. He's signed the Interscope, a very Catholic label. It's ran by 2 Jesuits. But people like this guy, they do give a lot of good information, but they also just give a lot of bullshit too. And they keep people in the religious paradigm too. But and again, look at the Capital Steez video. He did a video on Capital Steez. He didn't even he touched on the 47, but he didn't really touch on why Capital Steez was fascinated with that number 47. I'll show you why. If you know gematria, you know why Capital Steez loved the number 47 here. I guess we can talk about this woman's death too. I don't know if has you guys ever heard of this woman here, Aloy Joe? No. She was a part of Kendrick Lamar's label back in the day when he first started his label. But if not, I'll rewind. This is back in 2012. Look at the day she died. She died on February 7th, 2012. Again, that's the 38th day of the year. And again, in gematria, rapper equates to 38. So does murder. And also, it's 34 as well. She died from suicide, supposedly. Supposedly her cause of death, if you look at her death, she supposedly died from going in a radio or falling from a radio tower. And those in gematria, radio equals 34.
Oh, she on a radio tower.
But exactly. That's the same thing I'm saying. It's like how the fuck? And if you look up that radio tower, right? It's like it's so fucking tall, and there's like there's people out there. It's a very industrial area where she supposedly killed herself at. You don't think there's gonna be security out there? Somebody trying to stop her? And how's she gonna get so? I mean, if you look at the radio tower, how high it was, it's a pretty high tower. So I mean, you gotta ask her, how the fuck is one person, especially a woman like her, getting up on there and killing herself? But again. Who even, like I even said in my video I did on this, like, who even knows if she really fell from a radio tower? She probably could have just been killed by the police, could have targeted her, said, yeah, we're going to kill you on February 7th. Your number's up. And, killed her and said, oh, yeah, she died from falling from a radio tower, which makes no sense. Because they're in an industrial area where it's kind of hard to get on a radio tower, especially climbing all the way up. Again, it's not possible. But in gematria, her name is Loriana Johnson, which sums to 213 like death, and it reminds you of Tupac, who had the album All Eyes on Me on 213 and died 213 days later. But Absol is her boyfriend. If you don't know Absol, he's an open Satanist, if you will. He practices a lot of magic. He's a very spiritual guy, but he practices a lot of occult teachings. He's inspired by... Can't think of the guy's man. Can't think of it right now, but he's inspired by Thelema, right? Or the religion Thelema, I should say, right? Crowley, there it is. But yeah, he's inspired by that. He says Crowley is his inspiration for doing what he does, and that's his spiritual belief. But this woman died 53 days after her birthday. Okay, she died 53 days after her birthday. Again, that's the 16th prime number. Look at gematria. Look at his name, Absol. 1638. Dead on the 38th day of the year, 53 days after her birthday, and the boyfriend's name equals 16. Go fucking figure. But again, the name of the label, TDE, which is Top Dog Entertainment, that's Kendrick's label, 16. And again, the Jesuits, they've been around since the 16th century, as we're told. But notice he's born on the 54th day of the year, February 23rd. That's the 54th day of the year. And again, she died on February 7th, the day written 7-2. Mm-hmm. She died on her 54th day of her age. These are numbers we see all the time come together. Jesuit order, 5472. Okay? But she died 235 days after Kendrick's birthday. And if you go back and look, this woman right here, she supposedly made comments about her death. Not her death, but obviously Aloy Joe's death. How if she doesn't become famous, she's going to jump off a high tower. And it should kind of remind you of this woman here, supposedly dying from a high tower, or a radio tower, I should say. But she died, the woman that replaced her, this woman right here, pretty sure you've heard all of her music all over the radio. But notice she died, it's funny, she's born on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. But she died 91 days after this woman's birthday. And again, the Society of Jesus, 235.91, like Top Dog Entertainment's 91 again. Just think about it. The Earth is measured at 235 degrees, the tropics of this Earth. But Capital Steez. Notice this. He died on a day with 47-day numerology. December 23rd, 2012 was a day with 47-day numerology. I think Zach's written a book in his first book. I think, right? I think his first book that he ever put out there. It talked about Capital Steez's death in 47, I believe. But yeah, again, he died on a day with 47-day numerology. Capital Steez 47, like Joey Badass 47. Again, Joey Badass still lives on, while Capital Steez is supposedly in the dirt dead. But just notice he released his first solo mixtape, American, with KKK in it, on April 7th. They were in 4-7 or 7-4. Of course, he's much a rapper, some to 74. But his death was blamed on suicide. Suicide's 47. He was obsessed with 47. It symbolizes time. Time's 47. Notice Lori Joe. Her name sums to 47. She died from suicide, 47. But she reportedly died from a radio tower, falling from a radio tower, I should say. Radio 47. The Masons studied the 47 problem of Euclid. Okay? But here's what's sick about this, and this is how you can tell this one was very sacrificed for Kendrick Lamar's career, because nobody heard about him before he put out this album, and I know this is true because I used to listen to a lot of Kendrick music, but nobody really knew about Kendrick until after this studio album came out. It was Good Kid, Mad City, but notice that came out on October 22nd, 2012. This woman died 258 days. 258 days after that, this woman died 258 days before that came out. And notice in Gematria, Good Kid, Mad City, and use Satanic, it equals 666. Again, number of the beast is 258, like Order of Illuminati is 258. And he also put out this debut album, Section 80. It's on July 2nd, another date written 7-2. But you gotta love how the length is 59 and 44 seconds. You gotta love that. But again, Lori Joe died on February 7th, 7-2. This album came out on 7-2, July 2nd. But notice that was 221 days. She died 221 days after the album came out. And again, Bavarian Illuminati, 221. Bavarian Illuminati, 80. Section 80. Think about it. But the word Satan is also 80. If you think about the 666, Satan also equals 80. So I don't think that's an accident. Satan 80. And look at the symbolism. He has the Holy Bible. Look at that. He has the Holy Bible right there, 201.
Baphomet also equals 80.
Yeah, exactly. But look at that. Holy Bible. He got, some weed right there, pills, all this type of stuff. Just think about the mockery of that. So just think about it. But, yeah, there's more to his death. But, yeah, I mean, just how are you going to cover Capital Steez's death and not talk about 47? Not talk about the real thing of 47, what it really means. And to be honest, I don't even think Capital Steez even really he knew about gematria and numerology, but I don't think it was really him that liked that number 47. I think it's the cabal who loves that number 47. That's why they put it in all their news stories. But yeah, I mean, come on. The truth is, man, you got to step your game up, man. I mean, come on. You get all these views. I mean, look at his views too. I mean, he gets good views. I mean, 125K views, 60K.
Yeah, I look at a few channels that, almost everything I watch on YouTube that's not just like Zach is literally just to keep up with the like weird trends in the world so that I can speak on them and have a opinion on things that
right.
Is,
me, whenever I use it, like whenever I'm on YouTube, I'm always trying to learn something. Like, so that's the difference between me and like a lot of people in my age demographic. My age demographic, they rather watch brain rot. Think about that word too, brain rot, rotting your brain. But just think about that, right? People don't value knowledge. Like me, I'm always trying to learn stuff. Recently, I learned that there's not only 33 degrees in the Scottish Rite, but outside of other parts of Masonry, there's also a 96th Rite. It's called the Memphis Mithra Rite. If you look it up, I didn't know that. And again, Freemason equals 96. So, you know what I mean? Just like you learn something new every day. So I didn't even know about that. I learned about that on YouTube. Some guy exposing the supposed Freemasons. He was a part of the Masonic order.
If you got time, have you ever heard of UBTV?
You said what?
Have you ever heard of UBTV, which is funny because it's one letter off our acronym?
Yeah. I feel like I have, but no.
You should check out his UB40. Yeah, You should check out his like America is Egypt and his like Boule series and stuff like that. It's pretty
Eye-opening
really
stuff.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
But,
But speaking
yeah.
of, I'll
Go
have
ahead.
to do some more homework to maybe have a presentation or at least add on to what I know you're going to be bringing, which is that heat. But
For sure.
I will say it's about closing time. I want to give you the final word on the floor, and then yeah, if you want to pencil it in for next week, dude, I'm completely. That sounds like a plan to me. 59 will be a banger, just like tonight. And
Yeah, and you know what? I'll even try to find some 59 stuff that I've covered over the years. I'll try to find it. And
yeah, absolutely.
we'll make it a themed. People like it's funny. I'll say that, and people will be like, "Oh, so you're doing shit by the numbers too now? Oh, you're part of the cabal." It's like, no, I'm it's a theme. 59. It's just like the news. The news themes the news themes your news all the time.
Mhm.
Nobody notices it. Nobody notices this shit at all. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, any final things I can answer, I mean, hey, I'd love to answer it.
I might have to potentially think of some questions. Maybe we can open up the next.
Yeah, I was
next
thinking that
show
maybe
with
next
some
week
Q
or
and A.
next time, yeah, have
For
like
sure.
more of a Q&A questions or just
Yeah,
kind of something like that. Kind of like somewhat like we were doing tonight, but just make it more of an episode about that too. That'd be kind of cool. I mean,
right.
this
Yeah,
time,
incorporate.
having hang on, just have like a more like a Q&A question type one or.
I guess I do have one quick question. Like, it's more of like a favor, but like if you ever are in the same chats as like Amy and that, I know you guys are you guys have known each other for a long time, but yeah,
Yeah.
just throw the line out there. I mean, even if we get together on your channel or her channel or whatever, I
Yeah.
just think it'd be really fun. I've messaged her on Mighty and things.
Oh, you're
of that
talking about
nature.
Amy from Crack Their Code, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she streamed recently. I think she took a sabbatical off of YouTube.
Yeah,
for some
I have
reason.
noticed that it's been few and
It's
far
been some
between.
years, not years, but it's been some months.
Yeah. But it'd be great to have her on. I'm just saying, like, if you ever see her, throw the line out there, maybe just
Yeah, I'll try to reach out. I think what happened was something was going on with Charmed One and her, and they got into it, and I don't know, maybe she kind of and Charmed One started going at me too, started saying that I'm antagonizing Cuts and I'm doing all this type of stuff. But I mean, honestly, I'm not even doing anything to him. But I don't know. She had this woman, or I don't even know if it's a woman, but Charmed One. Supposedly she I don't know. She left YouTube and is not on the chats no more. So I don't know what happened. Suppose she had a mental breakdown and just stopped being on the internet or whatever. I don't know. But
to me, I was always in the back, just being like, "Man, this shit is so lame." I was sitting in the back, like, "Why?"
exactly. That's what I say.
This is just all. It just feels psyop because it's just like any new people coming in here. It's just like this is just bottom of the barrel retarded.
See,
like,
that's why I don't like. That's why I disagree with Zach going on fucking CT Kulati Akinsigan's fucking channel because like look at what that dude's channel is. It's like trash. Like I've been on there and like trying to educate these dumb fucking retards. It's honestly, I'm just gonna put it out there. Dumb.
That's
fucking
why we
retards.
need a counter. We need to
Right.
have, I would love to have a panel. Like I really like we got 3 people so far. It's just, think of it as a like Hollywood Squares. We need at least 6 more to make the 9 the panel.
But think about who's in that panel too. Like Cuts One, a guy who I mean, just think about that, right? A guy who flew out to New York, flew out to all these places with Zach, and now he's over there talking shit about him. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the real reason why that dude's mad. That dude's mad because, and when I was out there with him, because I actually met this dude in real life. When I went out there with him, the whole entire time I was chilling. Hey, what's up, Cuts? How are you doing, bro? Hey, trying to talk to this dude. He was more focused on, man, I'm heartbroken. I'm sad. I'm like, well, what are you sad about? He's like, oh, I'm sad about a girl. That same girl, I ended up talking to her and meeting her, and she said that this dude was really disrespectful. He literally called the mom a bitch. Said, yeah, your mom's a bitch, and you're a dumb bitch too. And started calling her an agent, and she broke it off. She's like, I'm not having this no more. We're like, we're done. I don't want to be friends with you. Nothing. We're done. From then on, he's just attacked Zach and me for like over the past 3 years now. So, That's the real reason why homeboy is really mad. But
well, somebody's got to get him his snitch money. So
yeah, it's $47,000 that I own supposedly. But
not an arbitrary number. But
yeah, Richard 47. There you go.
Well, I guess I'll allow. I guess you can join us for the outro. This has been another episode of Finding Truth, a great one. 58. We covered a lot of 58s, a lot of the
Right.
recent headlines, and there's sure to be more.
There's
by
always
next
more,
week.
but yeah,
Of
we'll
course.
cover it next time. We'll cover it next. It don't even have to be 59 themed. I'll just cover whatever. I mean, you already know there's going to be another psyop, and
Even if it's something similar to this episode, it'll be a great time, dude.
I'm sure we'll have something to think about this week, what we want to add, or we want to talk about, or how we want to kind of construct the stream. I know we got our little NASCAR finale, and then from there, it's just going to be kind of wide open. Whatever we fill the space with, we fill it up. I'm
Right.
sure I'll have ideas this week.
right, yeah, but man, the Jacob Frey thing. I mean, come on, man, 93rd day of his age. But
those live ones are always heat. Every time we found something live, it's just been
here.
just like
I want
lightning.
I want to end off with this. You guys, this is literally something I did live too. Do you remember the shooting that happened in? I think it was Chicago, the 4th of July shooting. And look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. They had a guy named Eduardo Uvaldo, supposedly part of the story. Supposedly a man got killed. Eduardo Uvaldo. We just had the Uvalde shooting. But this, and I found this live. I didn't even know this. But yeah, I found it live. But look at this picture they were using. They were using this guy's picture. Look at the numbers behind it. Look at the numbers behind it.
44.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Really? 44. Come on. Again, they were using this picture for a long time. I'll never forget it. But there he is with his mask. Look at the flag. See, he has the old Navy United States flag. I was pointing this shit out at the time. Like, come on, man. He got the United States flag on him as he does on Independence Day. Oh my! And the 44. I mean, don't even get me started on the 44. But yeah, I mean that right there was. I remember finding that. That was back in 2022 when I used to do my live streams. And we just go live and decode the news. But yeah. I'm gonna start doing that more often too. Just live decoding.
Oh, hopefully I'll be able to catch them.
Yeah, it's better than just doing like these. Like I can do these posts, right? But I feel like it's better just do a live decode. That's when you find more shit, honestly. But yeah, I'll start doing that more often. But that's if YouTube lets me stream on this channel.
Yeah, hopefully they reinstate.
Yeah. So, alrighty, guys. Hey, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yep, next week, guys. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a back-to-back sighting with the King. So
here, by the way, before I leave, if anybody wants to follow my channel right here, here's the backup channel. Right, this is the channel I'm on right now. Please follow this channel if you guys are out there. I know a lot of people can't find me or whatever. This is my second channel, Free Gematria Truth. Again, it's the same channel. Again, I just can't live stream on there, but I upload videos. But yeah, again, people are like, "Oh, where's Richard at? Where's Richard at?" Here's the channel right here. Again, I can't stream on this main channel, so yeah, we'll be on this channel from now on.
I'll sub with my personal channel after too, but I got the sub now.
Yeah, I just figured I'd throw that out there. But yeah, I mean, just if anybody's out there looking for me, I know Zach recently subscribed to this other channel, but yeah, again, if you're trying to find me, I'll be on this channel until it gets reinstated. Hopefully it does, but yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it, man. Look forward to being on here next week and in the future.
Always a pleasure.
Yep.
All righty, guys. Take care.
All right, yeah, take care. Have a good night, boss.
Take care, man.
All right, you too, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, that is our show for the night. Call goes out once again, as we always do, especially if you made it this far. Had a nice long stream, kind of a throwback to how we used to do it. And if you made it this far, if you skipped and got to this part, yeah, guys, get involved. Doesn't have to just be in the comments or email, although those are highly appreciated. But if you guys are interested in joining the conversation live, with us on our recordings, that'd be great. And just establishing yourselves in the community and putting yourselves out there. That's always going to be what we aim to inspire more people to do. And King Richard's a great example of that. He's always open to, coming on, and there was like never any struggle with getting him on. There's no egos between any of us, and it's just great. And people need that now more than ever. So yeah, I'll let you have the closing thoughts, Austin, and then we'll wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great stream. Looking forward to next week. And yeah, it's like, King said, and like we've been saying, just, we got to get more people on here and more people just participating and more people that, just coming out of their shells, coming out of the woodwork, that, just to have something to either say or contribute, or like I said, if you want to say that we're wrong and tell me I'm wrong or King's wrong or Logan's wrong or we're all wrong or whatever, it's like whatever. We have to have some kind of spark of some sort, some kind of life, just in some way, and whatever that's going to be. Like King said, there's just got to be more people that come on here. It can't just be him. And obviously, we're grateful to have him on 4 times, and looking forward to the 5th time. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the day we get the next person on here right now. Just that who's going to be the second new guest. And 4 people total, me and you, that's always been on here, and then King and someone else. That's the goal right now. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we got our NASCAR finale. It's been a long season. We interesting race today. It was interesting talk on that. We got one last finale, one last go of it, and should be interesting to see how it plays out. And yeah, looking forward to having the King on again and doing this for 59.
Absolutely, man. Well, apart from all that, guys, if you do have any helpful hints or comments, or if there's things you want to throw out to us, obviously feel free to leave comments. And our email, I usually have it scrolling. I haven't had it as much, but it'll be in the description as well if you need to leave a lengthier comment or whatever. But yeah, guys, until next week, have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday. Later.
Peace.